He's going to say 3 words.
Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast, where crap continues to word bomb the beginning of every show.
That might have been the best one, though, man.
Yeah, he's got so many. No, good to be here tonight, folks. A lot going on. It's Friday night. The year's getting started.
TGIF.
It's our second one. TGIF. You know, it's good. We should bring that back. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, so everyone kind of shuffling in. Let the audience kind of take its time. Take your seats, folks. Everybody sit down. Don't spill your popcorn. Let me go through the introductions here. We do have the longest introductions and outros in YouTube history. Guinness did call me for that. Let me start with the one, the only. He's Mr. IT. He knows what's going on. It's Crap Gamer, folks.
I don't know if I'm Mr. IT, but yeah, it is good to be here, and it is nice to see everybody in here hitting that like button early and often.
Yes, sir.
To the best of their ability.
I was going to say, the discrepancy is still kind of large right there.
Why wait? Go ahead and hit that like button. You know you want to. Do it.
Yes. And you know, the person on the panel that continuously confuses the hell out of Mooch because he's on mute. I'm going to introduce him anyways. He's the Southern Italian man, Clowns. How are you, buddy? Welcome tonight to the show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'll try to get more than 3 words in because I don't want crap to steal any more calzones. I'm going to say calamari, and that's more than 3 words, and I'll be dropping a million videos just like crap every week.
Oh,
yes, do it, Clowns. Do it.
Crap, don't take his calzone, man. You got to feed a cold. That's what you got. You got to feed.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's like a hearty meal, too, like a calzone. Let's and the man who has been rambling more than even me tonight so far, he's not confused by 844 Xbot 448. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Yeah, brother, man, you got my numbers right. I really appreciate that. You know, crap, when crap went off on my numbers, man, that started a wave. Like, I get DMs on Twitter. It's like
3964. Yeah.
8675309. Yeah, I heard that one as well.
But dude, we have a hell of a lineup here, man. Look at all these people down on the hangout, man. I can't wait to talk games with everybody right now, yo. This is gonna be a great show, yo.
Well, it's not our typical spring. Me and Alan were talking about this earlier on. We'll get to it in a second. Let me go to another one. Signore Bombastic, who's got 4 videos a day coming out. He's rivaling crap, folks. So buckle in. Boom. How are you tonight, buddy? Good to have you here with us.
Oh man, it's awesome to be here. I've been dying to speak about what's going on, but I got news for everyone. The Xbox news has been flowing like a broken pipe, and if this is a prelude to what we're going to get in 2018, it's going to be a great time to be an Xbox gamer.
Oh, for all those awful broken pipes for those dear landlords out there that have to deal with it. Shame on that, boom. Shame on that. Awful reference for those folks.
Our pipes lasted, man. It was like -20 with wind chill and stuff, and I was worried, man. But we have water here.
CrossFire is brought to you by Peck's Pipe, folks. Peck's Pipe at House Cabinet Home Depot. Yes. No, let's go to our special guest here because we've got 2 great ones, and I'll explain what happened to our third one. Hopefully, she's going to be able to come. But we've got Magic Mike, who's from the console corner. Magic Mike, welcome to the show, buddy. Good to have you here.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. And what's up, everybody out there in the chat watching us live and watching the replay? It's good to be here, and I can't wait to talk because there has been, like it's already been discussed, a lot of news coming out about Xbox and gaming in general.
You know, Mike might have done the first thing. He just did history crap. None of us have done this. He didn't just acknowledge the audience. He acknowledged the audience in the future. That was outstanding, Mike. Outstanding. I will start to do that.
That's why I'm Magic.
Very professional, brother. Very professional. Speaking of professional, I gave myself the best segue ever. This man has got a .com going with fullthrottle.com that is completely catching people off guard. Alan Walsh, welcome back to the show, brother. And your news is breaking, and people are reading it by the millions. Welcome back to Crossfire. How are you?
Millions. Thank you so much for Thank you so much for having me on, Mooch. It's great to be on the show again. First time in 2018, and for January, holy crap, there's so much news going on. It's insane.
That's what we were saying. And to be honest with you, Alan, you're 110% right, because this is not the generation, the gaming world is evolving. January, February, March were dead. It was just play your Christmas games and we'll talk to you at E3, leave us alone. Now we've got major releases from 2 of the big boys and things coming from Nintendo as well. I do want to say this much. Fox is trying to get in. We sent her a couple of the links, but she's having a hard time getting in. But we will continue throughout this show. We are dedicated to get Lady Foxfire into the show. So, folks, if you see her, we will welcome her with a large round of applause. But let's get into it. You know, guys, listen, here's the thing. While the audience kind of shuffles in a little bit, What do you guys think about Nintendo? Let's talk about the Nintendo Mini Direct there. Did this thing catch your guys' eyes at all? Did this have anybody standing up in their chair lighting a match, or did nobody really give a shit?
I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, man.
I didn't watch it either, but I did catch up with some of the news. And for a January conference, if you can even call it that, I thought it was pretty decent.
Well, people are waiting for the Nintendo Virtual Console, and it's not coming to fruition. Why is Nintendo not bringing that Virtual Console that was such a big hit on the Wii U forward into the Switch?
Well, if I can answer that, the real simple, the same way they can't figure out chat.
That's true. Very good point.
You know, I mean, think about this for a second. You know, you need to use something that looks like something from Dr. Frankenstein's lab to talk to somebody, or you do what Noof Nukem does. He makes a Xbox Live party, and he plays the Switch with everybody with the Xbox on. I mean, it's ridiculous, and that's why we don't have a virtual console. Because truthfully, I think they're trying to figure out, how do they move all that information over to the Switch so people don't have to buy Mario Brothers for the 17th time?
Well, that's what it is.
And I have trying to figure that out, man. I think they're happy if you know, it seems like the Nintendo, the Wii U weirdos and all that our boy Next Gen likes to say, they have no problem buying Mario like 20 times or whatever. I don't think that's a fact. I think the fact is that the Switch is selling so well that they don't really feel it's that imperative right now to address the problems and issues that they do have with bringing it over to that handheld.
Well, you know it's not just the Nintendo audience. Let's be honest. And I wanted to segue because a lot of things with Nintendo don't necessarily keep our audience enthralled. So I just wanted to start with that. But it really kind of bleeds into this. Here we are again. And myself, I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. I'm looking forward to another remaster. But we buy remasters all the time, Xbox, right? So can we really blame Nintendo for saying, wait a minute, these guys are they bought remasters on PS4 and Xbox One for a year and a half while games were waiting to come out. Nintendo's probably like, well, let them rebuy ours for a couple bucks a piece.
Well, Nintendo's the one that really started that anyway. I mean, this generation, they've come out with remasters. I know I've talked about it time and time again on my channel, and like I get tired of remasters, to be really honest with you. There are a few titles I'm like, all right, man, I'll go back and play that. BioShock Collection was definitely one of them. But at the end of the day, Nintendo was the one that first got people to kind of start rebuying games from like 1989 and stuff like that and doing it over and over again. So they're the ones who in all actuality started it, man.
Right. Now, you know, Mike, I really wanted to get you involved here because you were very, very vocal about the whole Dark Souls coming back remastered. Myself personally, I've been really honest. You want to talk about like, we say nursing, we used to joke around college, nursing a beer, this and that. I'm really nursing this Dark Souls 3. But I mean, you know, everyone's told me that Dark Souls 1 is the creme de la creme. And now that it's coming back in a remaster at 60 frames, 4K, and the ability to bring in a friend and play co-op, I think the ability was there, but it was just not right before. Now they're going to fix that and make it like the others. Do you think, Mike, this may be able to bring some new Dark Souls fans into it, or is the stigma just too much for people to join now?
You know, that's actually a great question, and I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if a Dark Souls 1 remaster is going to capture that new audience, unless it's the younger audience who, when Dark Souls first came out, they weren't playing those types of games.
Right.
I could see the remaster bringing along some of them for people our age. You know, if you missed Dark Souls the first time it came around, Xbox and Microsoft and From Software were awesome to give us the first Dark Souls and the backwards compatibility program, so you could download that right now and play it. Right. And it actually runs a lot better on the Xbox One. You know, no surprise, a lot of back compat games have been doing that.
Yes.
The game itself, when it first came out, and this was true on the PC as well, because the game was coded at 30 frames per second. It was locked at 30 on PC. Some people modded it. It caused problems. They had to mod the mod and all kinds of stuff. So the engine was never that great. Part of the difficulty of Dark Souls, a big amount of the Souls community would joke around about this, was actually the game's frame rate. Like, you know, its quirkiness, its jankiness. That was part of the difficulty of the game, not just the game's difficulty settings. That's all hopefully going to be worked out on this remaster. That's what I'm really looking forward to, is that 60 frames per second is going to be awesome to get without, breaking the game code over and over again.
Hey,
listen, I love staying on subject, guys. I hate going off subject, but the one lovely lady Foxfire has just joined us. Fox, welcome to the show, Fox.
Hey, Foxy.
Whoop,
Welcome.
whoop. I made it. I had to do some.
Who got you in?
I did it. I did it all by myself,
You the
guys.
bouncer.
Right.
you had to drop like $10 to Google, and then they opened the door for it.
No, I
right?
smacked Twitter around a little bit because I had to go to I had to go to the Twitter settings so it won't take me to their browser. So once I deactivated that, I got in as soon as I clicked on the link. So it was awesome.
That's good
So
news.
Twitter was trying to stop us from chatting, you guys. I can't
She
believe
beat down
this.
a baby bird, guys.
You cannot keep a good.
Yeah, I kicked that baby bird. I was like, get out of here.
Well,
What's up,
Fox?
everybody?
Fox, let me
What's
ask
up,
you a
chat?
question, Fox. I'm going to bring you right into it, Fox. We were talking about the Nintendo Mini Direct, okay, and then we went into why didn't Nintendo
What?
bring
What? What's that?
Well, we said, exactly. What is that? We didn't want to put the audience to sleep, but at the same time, it was a great transition into the Dark Souls remaster. And are you a Dark Souls fan, Fox?
No, but I appreciate it for what it is.
Well
I don't want to
said,
get in
well
trouble
said.
with I don't want to get in trouble with Luca. You know.
Fox is running for some kind
Yes.
of political
I was gonna say
office.
that was a great politician answer right there.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
it's an awesome game. I actually like watching streams about it, but I can't play that. No,
You think you
I
might
don't
go
think
back
so.
to it with the remaster of 1? Or no, there's just no way. It's not happening.
I don't know. Maybe if I get a free code or something.
was
You
gonna
know.
say,
Hashtag
somebody-
moving, folks.
If somebody gifts it to you.
Yeah, if somebody gives it to me, definitely I'll give it a try. But I'm not saying I'm gonna beat it. I'm not good at those type of games.
Well-
I'd rather run into like Gears of War multiplayer with a shotgun.
Hey, don't sell yourself
It's
short,
different.
Foxy. I bet you could beat it. And like what Mooch was picking up on earlier with the improvements they've made to the co-op in the game. If you get Dark Souls 1, whether you get it yourself or somebody gifts it to you, I'll be more than happy to walk you through that beast.
Well,
you know,
that's what
nice.
that's what I
Don't
was
fall
gonna
for all the
ask,
Dark
man.
Souls stuff, Foxy. They're trying to lure you in. It's a trap. You don't want to get
It's
caught in that crap.
All right, I got two things here. Hold on. First of all, to Mike, when she said about beating it, I'm not. I believe she can beat it. It's whether or not she's gonna want to after like playing it for a while. And then with the co-op, like, is it full co-op now? Did they really put it in like all
It's
the way?
been
through
like
the end?
that in 3, and now 1 will follow suit from what I'm understanding.
Well,
So-
if they're going to remaster it beat for beat in the first Dark Souls, you don't get the white soapstone, the basically what you use to generate
Don't drop
co-op
the soapstone?
opportunities. Yeah, don't drop the soapstone.
All right.
But it's an item in the Dark Souls lore. It's you basically use it to scratch your signal on the ground, and then other people can summon you into their world as a co-op partner. So there's a point in the story where you actually get that item. So there's going to be some early game that you probably won't be able to do co-op. But once you get to that point, it's very similar to Dark Souls 3. It was a little bit more difficult, but maybe they're gonna smooth it out, and it'll be hopefully similar where you can do co-op like you could in Dark Souls 3. You just put your sign down on the ground. You can set a password to it, so only the person you want to co-op with can see it, and then they pull you into their world, and you help basically walk them through the levels and the bosses and everything.
All right, Mike, you have convinced me. My sign that I'm going to put on the ground is stop. I'm not picking it up.
Say this, does anybody else notice how a game like Dark Souls or that franchise gets a free pass with like flooding the market with their fucking game? I mean, and that game style, right? Think about it. Since this like Demon Souls is basically Dark Souls, that was a PS3 game.
Right.
Then they did Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Now then they remastered them, and then Bloodborne. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Enough is enough.
Well,
You know, like
they did.
as
They
far as I'm
remastered
concerned,
Dark
like,
Souls.
stop.
Yeah, they did remaster Dark Souls 2. Crap, you're 100%
Yeah.
right. This is 1 coming through. 3 will not get remastered.
Because that's a
Um,
current gen game, but
Correct.
still, I mean,
Correct.
In
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2's defense, it came out on the 360 and PS3 right before the Xbox One and PS4 launched. So I didn't really mind them bringing a port of that over.
But they're
And-
basically releasing something Dark Souls related every single year, and it seems
Right.
like they're not getting any shit for that whatsoever.
I get what
Well,
you're saying, and I think the reason they don't get shit for it, and maybe Mooch might agree with me on this because I know he's played Dark Souls 3 quite a bit. This game is very nostalgic in the way that it feels. It's a brutally not difficult game, but it's a game that punishes you for making.
It's a gamer's game, and it's
Cuphead is
hard
really
to play.
difficult, man.
Crap,
Very
you gotta
similar.
stop
That's true.
Crap, it's coming on the Switch. I mean, that makes it all worth it, right?
Yeah, that's just what I want to play on my Switch.
Guys, go ahead and run with this. Hashtag Souls on the go. I love it. It's got a great ring to it, right?
I don't bring my Switch anywhere, man. That thing's a $300 console, man.
But you are one of the few, man. You are one of the few and the proud. You're like
let me tell you something, though, Xbot. My Switch is permanently docked too, but this game may be the one that makes me take it on the road.
You're not taking anything on the road.
I'm going to take a picture of it for no good reason on the road.
It's going to be at your front door as soon as you try to go out with it. You put it back now.
I'm going to put my Switch between the two yellow lines on the road, take a picture, send it to crap. Listen, I'm literally doing this, folks.
Mooch playing Switch. Yeah. Here's Dark Souls. Here's Doom.
Why is Mooch sitting Indian style in the middle of a major highway? Listen, I don't know. I think Dark Souls. Listen here, Magic Mike said something just before Foxy came in that I kind of want to go back. And Mike, this was a great point. I went and heard all the nostalgia and how great Dark Souls was, and I'm supposed to play it because I'm a gamer and this and that. And I went when Dark Souls became back compat, and I went ahead and grabbed it, and I started playing it, and I didn't care for it. I just didn't care for it. Actually, no, I take that back. It wasn't when it was back compat. It was when we got it for free at Games with Gold on our Xbox 360. It was back that long ago.
Okay.
Grabbed it.
Yeah, I played that little opening bit, and it was...
Yeah, me too, crap. It was so slow and miserable, and the function and the graphics, it was just... you know what I felt like? I felt like I was playing that old Shadowgate game from Nintendo. And I said, "This, yeah, thank you for all you hardcore gamers out there that remember that." Well, but Mike made a point, and Mike, I'm going to give the mic back to you. The reason that I think people should, if you've just said Dark Souls isn't for me, okay, Dark Souls 1, from what I'm hearing from even the Dark Souls community, is saying this is the creme de la creme. This is the reason they love it so much. This remaster may be the calling card. So go ahead, Mike. Do you want to roll with that?
You know, the remaster may pull a lot of people in. I really hope it does, because the thriving online community for Dark Souls is really one of the biggest selling points once you really get into the game. What you were saying about those opening levels in the first Dark Souls game, I totally fell into that pit too. The first time the game came out on 360, I played it. I got it for Christmas. I was really excited because I had heard about it and everything. Right. I put it in. I played that game for maybe 3 or 4 hours, kept dying, couldn't get anywhere, and I gave up on it for months. I finally went back to it, and I put that time in, and I got through those early levels. I learned, basically, I taught myself how to get better at the game, and that's one of the best things about Dark Souls, is that feeling that you get of accomplishing something that you don't really get from other modern games nowadays. And if you can get past the first hour and a half, 2 hours of the game, that's when it opens up and really becomes much more accessible, and really just makes you want to dive into the world. Dark Souls 3, they really perfected the formula, because they made it accessible right from the get-go. You never felt that, like, you never felt that you were hitting that roadblock. You never felt that this was a game that was impossible to go anywhere in. Dark Souls 1, it definitely does that to you. It is brutal in the opening hours, but it builds you up. It's basically strengthening you, getting you through that. It's like basically making steel. It puts you through that hot fire so you can come out even harder.
All right, check this out. I got a question for the Dark Souls people that are on the panel right now. I'm looking at a bigger scope. First of all, just one real quick question before. When is this supposed to come out?
It's May 25th, I believe. If I'm off, it's May 25th or May 28th, something like that.
I'm looking at the entire spectrum of games this year, and 2018 is an absolutely outstanding year when it comes to new games, sequels, stuff like that.
This is a good point.
You got State of Decay 2, you got Sea of Thieves, you got Crackdown 3, you got the new Forza. like if you want to bring in new gamers to this existing franchise, I don't think it's really going to do it. I think it's going to make the Dark Souls people happy. But with all these other games, all these other multiplayer experiences and stuff like that coming out this year, do you guys really think that it'll capture like new gamers to it when there's so many other games coming out?
Here's the thing. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it has the chance to pull in the new gamers, because what I remember about May specifically, and that's the month of my birthday, so I really pay attention to it, is that last May, there was a game that came out, and it's also Foxy's birthday. Lots of birthdays of great podcasters here in the month of May. But back to what I was saying.
Fox has trained him well, by the way.
Right.
It's my bro, man.
In May last year, there was a game that came out, and I don't play it anymore, but it was incredibly popular for the first couple of weeks, because May was kind of a dry month. You're leading up to E3. Not a whole lot of big games come out in May. Right. Friday the 13th came out in May.
Oh.
Oh no!
All that money I spent on Total Recall, you brought it back. Go ahead.
So anyway, the whole reason I even mention that is because if you're trying to bring new people into the fold, I think May is the perfect time because people want new games. It's the beginning of summer. You know, kids are starting to get ready. Like, you know, they're going to have time off from school and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that the game coming out in May, it does have a chance, even with all these big multiplayer games. Like, you know, we've got Sea of Thieves coming out in the spring. You know, there are going to be people that are going to be looking for a different experience come May.
I think you make a good point there.
All the way to
but I mean, well, you know, there's Sea of Thieves. There's so many games coming out. I mean, we don't know yet. We're going to probably hear something about God of War sometime between April and June. There's going to be a lot. Crackdown is now, that's, you know, it is a great segue to go into it. And crap, I don't know if you want to speak to this a little bit, but there was a leak. I heard also May 25th time frame for State of Decay 2, and I'm hearing June 29th for Crackdown 3. I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is the State of Decay developer said that theirs didn't actually leak, but you have to figure that it's around there somewhere, since it got passed from the ESRB, which means they played a completed version of the game.
Okay.
Because you have to do that to rate it. So yeah, it definitely means that there's something going on there, and it's complete. We know that, but they're probably just trying to give Sea of Thieves some breathing room in terms of hype and things like that. So
well, then if going with you're saying there, and I believe what you're saying, crap, about the breathing room, that's to me a 2-month gap between Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 seems to be more than enough. I'm not that comfortable with May 25th and then the rumor of Crackdown June 29th. That one doesn't sit so well.
Somebody else sent me a link saying that Crackdown might release earlier than that. Like it says something else on another Amazon listing. So I still am firmly believing that all 3 of these games are going to release prior to E3, and then we'll have, you know, like I said, Microsoft had a shit start of the year last year. Nobody can deny that.
Right.
And then they really cleaned it up. I mean, as far as what we've gotten the second half of the year, with like Cuphead, you have such variety: Forza 7, PUBG, Super Lucky's Tale, the 3 remastered Disney, whatever the hell they are, Shannon Loftus specials.
Forza.
Yeah. You know, and then you going into this year, you get, and then of course we're gonna have the Forza 4 later on this year as well. But yeah, so you're gonna have those 3 big AAA games to start this year off, and that's, you know, coming off of last year, which ended very well. And then you look over, and then Sony's the one that looks bad, because when was the last real like first party thing that they released? Was it March? NAC or GT Sport or whatever?
Dude, they're just going to point back to Horizon Zero Dawn, even though it'll be a year. You know what I'm saying? Since
they don't play old games, bro. What are you talking about? Come on.
No, but you know, when it comes to the gaming media and spinning out the whole no games thing, you know, when we went through 2017 as Xbox gamers, that's what we heard, and nobody went back and reflected on all the games that we got from the launch of this generation. They really focused on last year and last year alone. But when it comes around and now all of a sudden the spotlight is on Sony, and Sony's there with rabbit ears in their pockets, like, yeah, we don't know what to tell you guys. That's when they're going to go, well, you know, Horizon Zero Dawn and Neo and all that, they're going to point back in time. It's what's going to happen.
Well, let's talk about this for a second, crap. If we've got a smothered, okay, which this is something we all haven't said in years. If you have a smothered spring going into the summer, why not just let Crackdown come out end of August when it's dead? Like, give it its own space to breathe.
I mean, it could still have its own space. I don't think you want to delay it anymore.
I agree.
That's the problem.
But it's not delayed right now. They did say spring, right?
Spring.
Okay, they said spring. Yeah. Okay, so but State of Decay also said spring, so they don't want to push it to fall.
I mean, spring is a fall, spring, whatever. I mean, I just think, I just think that they'll probably release it. You know, when they do, who knows what their expectations are? They might just go, and the game could sell itself. To be fair. If you know, if what happens is true, you know what I mean, like with the cloud and stuff like that, it could very well sell itself. You know, like I think it's going to do very well. Get the games out. Let's let the people enjoy the game. Stop worrying let them worry about the sales and stuff like that. If it's good, it'll sell.
Right.
If
well,
I
would love for them to do a March, April, May release. Get those 3 games out. You know,
that would be phenomenal.
That would be a nice string leading into E3. I mean, that's how you do it. You roll with those 3 games. They're all strong titles. They're probably all going to sell very well. Especially, I mean, I can't say or not say it's going to sell systems, But I think the one that's going to do that is probably going to be Sea of Thieves. I think people are going to see that going, and they're going to be like, "Whoa, I got to get involved in this."
Well, with that being said, though, boom, let's expand on that. Sea of Thieves is their report card is not going to come out. It's not going to come out on March 20th like you all think it is. The report card is going to come out on January 29th, I believe. And the reason for that, right? And is it the 29th crap that we have the
I think it's the
24th?
24th.
Like that.
It is,
24th to the 29th.
15 dates in front of me. January 24th is when people and our good friends at Digital Foundry will be inspecting every wave. You know, so I mean,
hopefully they have everything sorted out and they actually give the proper analysis this time.
Here's what let me tell you what I like and what I don't like, Mike, and I want to hand it over to you, or I don't know if that was Mike or Alan, but
yeah, that was me.
All right, here's my thing. Okay, right now I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing come out of Rare. I'm seeing a lot of people being very, very sure of themselves. People retweeting constantly. Don't forget our closed beta is coming out January 24th. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. Get your pirate suit ready. Everyone's going arg. It's great. It's great. What I'm a little concerned about here, a little bit, is I'm not seeing the Xbox brass talking about it nearly as much as I'd like. And that might mean nothing. It might mean absolutely nothing, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But maybe they're saying, look at Rare, you do the talking. You know, you're part of us. We own you. You're with us. You do the talking. Which I think is genius, by the way. Don't let the Phil and company talk. They've talked enough over the past 3 years. Let Rare talk, the developers themselves. What do you think, Mike? Let me hand the mic back to you. What do you think about that?
No, I 100% agree. I would love to see, the Microsoft executives that we typically hear from when we have big releases coming out, like talking up the game. But it's a really good point. Rare is, they're based out of the UK. They're in a different country. They might want to do things their own way, and they do have their own quirky take on things. So letting them handle all of the publicity and everything leading up to the game's launch, that also makes a lot of sense. There's not one right answer that I can think of. One thing that was mentioned earlier was that, during this closed beta period, there's going to be, Digital Foundry playing it. They're going to be inspecting every wave and stuff like that. And I just want to let everyone know who may or may not be aware of this. It just recently came, I think it was earlier today, actually. I saw it on Twitter. It's been confirmed that the closed beta is not going to have any 1X updates available. It is not going to be Xbox One X enhanced. So all of these, early analysis, they come out. If you're playing it on the Xbox One X, keep in mind that it's not an enhanced game. And Rare gave very, very good reasoning for why it's not enhanced. They want to keep the download size standard. They don't want to make the download size too large for the closed beta. And they just basically wanted to make sure that all the enhancements were ready for the final release. So if you do see Digital Foundry doing any sort of, well, we played it on Xbox One X and we don't know why it's not hitting even like 1440p. You heard it right here, folks. The developer has said they are not enhancing this game for the beta.
Well, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. This is Microsoft's calling card. Here's the thing. So that's smart because now you're not going to have all the IGNs being like, I went to go download the beta and I saw 96 gigs. All right. So, we avoid that. But now we're going to have a problem with Richard, do you see the pixelated issues that I'm seeing, Richard?
That's not going to stop them at all from criticizing the hell out of it.
Exactly. Thank you, Fox. Please speak to that. I agree.
The game's beautiful. I mean, it
is, but they're still going to say something no matter what. They always have something bad to say. They'll find something, and then they'll predict that, the X1 version is probably going to do a little bit better. Like they'll nitpick it. And
we've been told, Fox, that it's going to get the 4K treatment, but we're not really sure. But are we? Richard, chime in. And the problem is that this is the issue. And then you got people for 6 weeks before it comes out, it's going to get mediocre. I'm not going to say bad, but mediocre press. I myself personally, Mike, listen, what the developers said and what you said to explain it, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense in every business except the gaming business. Because here, this business is like the food business. It's the closest thing. That's why people love my food analogies. But realistically, it's true, okay? The game, if the game looks good, it can suck. It just has to look good.
Mooch.
And if it doesn't look up to snuff, or Digital Foundry says there's not enough P's, it's going to concern people. Go ahead, Xbot.
Mooch, here's the thing. Sea of Thieves might be a pivotal title because if you look at what happened with PUBG coming to Xbox, you know, right before 2018. Now with PUBG and Sea of Thieves, you could quite possibly have like the streamer's dream here with 2 titles. So even if they're out there doing whatever they're doing with the analysis, if this really takes off with the streamers, all right, that's a whole kind of like different gaming community in and of itself. And like it kind of did with Minecraft and everything like that. That builds hype as well. And it could be you could see kind of like a pivot there where, you know, a lot of consumers and a lot of sales are actually generated from all these people streaming, you know, PUBG and Sea of Thieves now. And that's going to be really interesting to watch, like moving forward, man.
What do you think, Crap? I can already hear you saying that's not a problem. Digital Foundry
it's not a problem. It's not the Digital Foundry stuff's not going to be a problem. The game looks gorgeous. They've already said it looks gorgeous. So everybody that's seen it knows it has the best water effects ever created by humans. You know, it's the particular art style. It's 1080p. It's 30 frames per second. You're not going to get 60 anyway. So I don't really see much that they can say about it.
Right.
In terms of what they're doing with promotion, you know, who's going to promote it? The people that are going to be streaming it. Because
that's a really good point. They've already said they want to make a big influencer push.
Yeah.
This game.
So every goddamn influencer out there from here to Timbuktu is going to be playing this game, seeing stuff in there that we have yet to see, which is going to be huge. Everybody's going to see everybody and their mother having fun with this.
Yes.
And they're going to want it. This game is going to be huge. And I said this a long time ago. A lot of people gave me hate for it. It's going to be the next big thing from Microsoft. Gears, Forza, Halo, Fable, Sea of Thieves, Minecraft. Get used to hearing those, right? Because those are going to be the huge things from Microsoft going
Well, I'll
forward.
tell you, Crap, you know, very few times through the course of our podcasting have you sold me on something so great. You've sold me on Sea of Thieves. I'm going in hook, line, and sinker. Okay, there's a pun. And, but I mean, I'm going in full flight. And I'm sitting there the other night. I'm playing PUBG, and you guys, everybody knows, and we'll talk about PUBG shortly. You don't have much time in between a match, and I think Boom was in one of the tweets, and it was like, "Get this while it's still hot." And I grabbed the Sea of Thieves controller. Listen, I grabbed it. I saw DLC. My pirate should look pretty cool. I don't know. But nonetheless, Alan, what about you, Alan? What is your ear to the ground saying from the folks you're talking about that do a lot of writing, blogs, gaming media stuff? Is this rumored to be maybe Microsoft's next big leap?
Yeah, like so far from what I'm seeing from the media perspective, a lot of them actually seem to be really excited about Sea of Thieves. Yeah. Like I was watching a few Podcast Unlocked episodes, and they regularly bring up Sea of Thieves and talk about how much they love it.
Yeah,
they are really, really into it, and they're constantly praising it up and praising Rare. Now, something else I wanted to actually mention as well is that I think Sea of Thieves could really be a big boost for Mixer, based on what Crap was saying about all the live streamers.
Yes.
You're gonna have a lot of people streaming this. We're gonna see a lot of new streamers, and I think Mixer could really grow because of Sea of Thieves. Like if
I'm streaming it to YouTube.
If Microsoft can be hitting like top live streamers on YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer with Sea of Thieves, that's really good for them. That's going to get a lot of people interested. If they can get Sea of Thieves on all the major streaming platforms, that's a big win for them.
Well, here's my thing now, guys. And if anybody knows this, please chime in. I just don't think anyone knows yet, but I don't think Rare has released this information yet. I just don't know what their formula is for the game. So let's fast forward 2-3 weeks into it. We all own it. We're all playing it. Everyone's going to go ahead and agree. Right now, we'll all agree that it looks great. And we've played it. What am I streaming the third weekend? We know what a MMO-style game like Destiny did, right? What it could do, what it would be. But Sea of Thieves is not even being talked about in the same realm as Destiny. So what is keeping gamers to hop in? Like, we all know what the attraction is, right, to GTA 5. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't know what the attraction is to GTA. But GTA 5 Online just continues to print cash.
They give you different missions to do, and just like Sea of Thieves will do. You're gonna get a new mission. You're on the hunt to become the top crew. You know, the most feared pirate. You move up the ladder. You have different factions that you sign up with or whatever. And
now that sounds very Destiny-ish. Crap.
Probably, yeah.
No, it definitely. Yeah, but without Eververse, there's no Eververse.
There's no Eververse.
I don't think it's gonna be like GTA at all, actually, because Because in GTA, you could do like different things. Not only run around and shoot, you could be in vehicles as well. Boats, cars. So they do give you different options, and they give you lobbies that you could do different things. And I feel like Sea of Thieves is going to be more linear, even within its own open world, because most of it is either going to be boats, so, being in boats with your friends, or being in islands looking for treasure and whatnot, or doing quests.
Or being
Other than that, I don't really know.
Or being in the middle of a hurricane, or being
Stuff has
sandwiched
to do
between
with the
two
ocean.
boats.
Well,
Yes.
Fox, do you think so? You're saying possibly, okay, we go out, we set the seas, maybe we attack some other pirates, we take over the ship, we take their treasure, fine, but we're still on the way to a mission. We finally dock, we get off, we go over, and then once you hit the land, just like Destiny, remember when we would go into the actual mission, it would kind of do that little fog thing, and then you would be out. You'd be taken out of what is the multiplayer, and you'd be the three of us,
open
right?
sea.
Right.
Yeah, and then you're going into an island, which you might run into other people. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but either way, you're going to be focusing on that quest, that particular mission with your friends. Whether you're being attacked by the AI or other players, I don't know.
Well, I
Does
think
everyone
I think,
agree with Fox? I do. I think that's how I'm envisioning it.
No, I think this is going to be the year that me and Crap almost agree on absolutely everything, because it's that continued support.
The Earth is flat.
All right, there's two games coming out where what I'm hearing kind of like behind closed doors is Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3 are going to be supported the same way that Rockstar does GTA 5. Now, I hear what Fox is saying about there's more to do in GTA 5, but I think the world itself, that living world, that continuous kind of like you have those guys that go in to just kind of take over other pirate ships and stuff like that. I think that world is going to have its own life, and when that happens, people are going to want to peek into it through some a streamer screen and whatever, and see that they're gonna kind of like build loyalties to certain people that are doing certain things, like the evil pirates. They're gonna be like, he's streaming today, let's go see who he plunders and all that good stuff. I think it really has the ability to create kind of like a world of its own, a life of its own, man.
The world is a living world. First of all, people have to realize this, and this isn't anything that I'm divulging that people don't know. You can get into a storm at a drop of a hat, so you have to be careful. There's other pirates constantly an issue. You're gonna have people trying to grief you a lot, which means they're gonna follow you, wait for you to get the treasure, then jump you, take your treasure, and then go cash it in because you're trying to get treasure to improve your.
Only reason I want to interrupt you is I know you very well, and I know things that piss you the hell off. That's game trolling.
Yeah, I'm actually doing that.
Wow.
Everybody be wary of Crap. No, but here's my thing. Not to make a Dark Souls Sea of Thieves reference, but I might be able to pull this off. But there's invaders. Okay, when you're playing, if me and Magic Mike are playing through Dark Souls 3 or any of them, once we ember up, we have allowed the game to let an invader into our game, and when they come in, they can take your everything. You get your souls, this and that. They get all kinds of extra points. Crap, that's one of the most annoying parts of playing multiplayer for me in Dark Souls, is we're just getting next to a boss, or we have enough of our Estus flasks, which are your heals, and you don't want to waste them, and then I got to waste them fighting this guy who's an invader. The minute we are getting off the ship, and we got just enough heals and this and that, somebody lives right next to St. Elmo's Fire.
Shit, they're coming for me.
Your Magic Mike, oh shit, they're coming for me. It is the most annoying thing to constantly get and there's going to be people who know that this island, right, has a ton of treasure, and there's going to be noobs going to play it all the time, and the people are going to be like, give me your treasure, and it's going to be like, wait, can I just go do the mission and then we'll fight later? You scarvy? No, but they're not. They're not going to do that. They're gonna hit us.
Mooch just gives me flashbacks to the Dark Zone in the
right. Exactly.
Oh my God, the Dark Zone. Oh no.
The problem with the Dark Zone was that nobody was willing to go after each other in the Dark Zone. Everybody was afraid to lose their shit.
We think that might happen here. Crap, that's an interesting point.
No. I think you're not like everybody's like, I got this awesome thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like this is like some treasure or whatever, so it's cool. But I think at the end of the day, it's just gonna be fun. You're gonna have people that are probably gonna try and grief, and they're gonna probably have a way to stop that from always happening. Like certain areas maybe are dedicated to where you can't do that. I don't know,
right.
But for me, I think that that's part of the game.
Right.
When I was playing the alpha, and this is again stuff that everybody's already seen, it's a blast when you're firing, trying to get in range of the cannons and stuff like that. And that to me is the fun of the game. It's heart-pounding stuff, man. It's like when you get down to it, you gotta, the teamwork that it takes. Like, hey, which way? South. Okay, and then they don't tell you exactly where to find the treasure. That's also part of the fun, right? It's like your ass has to go and look for the area on where the map shows. Like, there's no take 10 steps this way. No, there's just a fucking X that you have to go find and hope that you can find where this thing is on the map on the actual island or whatever. So,
well, Joe Sinister in the chat crap says that Sea of Thieves also has that proximity chat feature, which I like. That was also in the Division. There you go, boom.
Yeah.
But I like that because I would actually rather be in game chat with you guys and be able to talk on the boat. And because one of the things that it just in crap, this, we've played enough PUBG now. I can't stand when you jump off the plane and one of your squad members goes rogue, right? So I like it when we're all together. So if Rich, shout out to Grave. But literally the whole point of the matter is that if one of our pirate mates there kind of goes off on their own, they're out of the conversation, and that also will penalize them because without conversation, they're not going to make it. So I like that proximity feature. I hope we do utilize that, and not everybody just jumps in the party chat all the time.
I have a question for Crap on this Sea of Thieves since he knows a lot.
You're bot and clowns.
Hey, there's only one bot on this show, man.
Yes, Xbot 439741010101012.
Dude, I got like 4 10s right there. That's a perfect score.
Fix your mic and come back though, clowns. I do want to hear your question. But that you guys gonna play with proximity? I might mandate that in my game. I like it.
I actually think that would make the experience a lot better because
doesn't it, Boom?
Well, think about this for a second. You're gonna be with a group of people. You kind of gonna everyone has to be on the same page to make this work, right? So you want to have fun, and anyone that goes off, they're not going to be able to hear you or talk. So,
Yarg, the ones that go off, me and my matey there in the corner, we're going to be talking about stealing your treasure once you get it.
Why is you and your matey in the corner, though? That's
and talking about stealing treasure, Yarg.
Yarg, they've been on the sea for a long time, Yarg.
Oh.
I got scurvy in my loins.
I'm done.
Clowns, are you back, Clowns? I don't know if Clowns got back yet.
No, he's still muted.
He's still muted. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Clowns looks like he'll
probably had to leave and then jump out.
That happens. Well, when he gets back, we'll go back to that. Are there anyone else have concerns, or everyone's just gung ho about Sea of Thieves? There's no concerns.
Well, I'm excited, but like at the end of the day, we won't know until we get the full game in our hands. Let's be honest here. But everything that we have seen, everything that we have heard, especially from Rare, it would be one thing if like Activision or even Bungie was saying stuff about their game coming out, but this is Rare. This is Craig Duncan. This is a great crew of developers.
I do have to say, I do want to say this too. Like, you have so many people that are like, Rare hasn't made shit in forever. Rare's dead. Rare's this. Rare's that. Nobody's giving them props for stepping out and actually doing something different. This is something out of their wheelhouse. This is something so goddamn impressive and so ambitious that I don't know. I can't.
How big's the world, Crap?
It's huge. It's a huge world. It's
they
like
scaled it to anything where they're like, oh, it's the size of Witcher 2 or
they
Witcher
haven't
3.
said it, but it's huge. You're on a boat and it's water. It could even be infinite. I don't know, but I can't even think of maybe a couple studios that could even attempt to do something like this, and they pulled it off. Because if you look at it,
you guys hear me?
Yes,
yeah, there he is.
If you look at it, like Fable Legends failed because that was too ambitious for that studio, right? Other studios have failed trying to make MMO type games,
right?
So,
the one thing I wanted to ask you before was that I heard from some people that Sea of Thieves is going to have in-game like ranking, like you could rank your pirates up.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're trying to be like you're trying to get your pirate cred up, basically. So
pirate cred.
If you guys got the email that's like, hey, you're invited to the beta, like I did, it tells you all the stats from the thing. Like almost 500,000 people played it. That's huge. Also, it tells you who the top pirate was of that, and they, their gamer tag. So there's gonna have like a score. It's gonna have score. People like competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So you're gonna have people trying to out there. People are gonna play this fucking game like they're gonna no life it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you put it that way. I hope Rare sees the issues that Destiny 2 ran into, and I mean that's one of the things.
I mean, the good news, the best news about Sea of Thieves is the fact that it happened during Destiny 1 and 2 and Division, so you can see these types of games and avoid those kind of pitfalls. By offering something different, you know, and I think that that's what people are ready for. People like that type of game. Just you got to do it more GTA style than Destiny, in my opinion. And look, Division was great that first week, man. Hell of a week, I tell you what.
I played it for like a month, and that was done.
Great 30 days.
But
the story was good.
I agree with you guys bringing up like Destiny and the concerns and potentially the longevity of the game, because I do worry a little bit about that. And has ever since it was mentioned, I was super hyped. But obviously, as the months went on, and we were like, "Oh, we gotta wait, delayed, whatever." My excitement went down a little bit, obviously. So I am a little bit concerned with like how, and would it be the same copy paste stuff that would be in the other island, and then you do that quest. So I am concerned to see like how long it's gonna last.
Well, you have every right to feel that way, Fox. Yeah.
I think the one thing Rare. Sorry, I was going to say, I think the one thing Rare needs to get right is this live service component, so you keep coming back to it because you're always thinking there's something new for me to do, there's something new for me to discover.
Yeah, the daily, what was in Destiny 1 known as the dailies, your dailies to complete, which eventually became mundane, but nonetheless, it was very, very good at first.
They'll probably have something like that as well.
You have to, because what Alan said is that's the lure. That's the lure. That's the thing that gets you to come back, because crap, after 30 days, you said it with the Division yourself. Great game for 30, but Sea of Thieves, if it's wonderful for 30 days and then you've accomplished everything.
Well, the difference is I didn't particularly enjoy the MMO style of Division. I like the campaign only. Where Sea of Thieves, that's like craft your own pirate story, and I dig that. You know, the higher level you get.
You say that, but I'm just concerned. Like there is a limit, there is a cap on content. They didn't make infinite amounts of content.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, remember this game was supposedly getting an open beta 2 years ago and was going to come out 2 years ago, and then a year ago, and then it gets delayed. They realized that they got to have tons of content. This is why they've beefed up over the past few years and have been doing so much content. Yeah. So, I mean, they've got to realize that they've got to have content ready to go for a long time. And the more you level up, the more things open, and there's going to be, they're going to have to be able to do that. So
I think crap what you're trying to say, and I 100% agree with you. What's great about this game, that we don't know anything about it. They have been the cards have been so close to the chest that they let you see what they want you to see.
Isn't that refreshing, though?
It is absolutely refreshing, because
to a certain extent, yes.
I mean, there's been no leaks, okay, yes, and they've had the alpha. I mean, crap, you said you play like 60, 70 hours.
60, 65, 70 hours, something like that.
And you know what? Here's the thing. We know crap gets bored very easily of games. If he's still excited, he's still excited and the game hasn't come out and he put 60 hours into it, and he hasn't seen everything.
Yeah, only a small portion of the game.
There's a lot to look forward to.
Has anybody seen what the closed beta is going to bring? I mean, how many missions, how many side quests, what it entails?
We know it's only a small portion of the game. Again, they're not doing the full game for the beta or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. It's just giving more people an opportunity to kind of play and things like that.
Will it be a limited character build also, where you'll have to start over again the way Destiny was?
I don't really know.
Or the character that you build in the beta is you can choose to start over or build, again. I would assume that they make you do it again, because
I imagine
it's not fair, right? If you're not in the closed beta, then on day one you're 3-4 levels behind the people that played the beta. That's unfair. So I think you're gonna be able to, I like that. I prefer a beta, as much as it's a lot of repeat. I prefer a beta to let you go in, really kind of just experiment. And then that everything you've done is going to be a wash. Because if you go in there and you're taking it serious, like this is going to be your main character, you play the game a little differently. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go into the beta and really explore and be able to make a couple of characters and just goof around. I think that's the way I look at it.
I don't know, but I do like the fact that you're able to customize your character. And, there seems to be a lot of different things you can customize about it. And your ships are going to be customizable. I think that's awesome, too. So people are like custom stuff,
Well, I I think we have a pretty damn good idea here. And the panel seems like is everybody here buying Sea of Thieves? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Is that a general consensus?
I've already purchased. Yeah.
For me, it's more towards my friends.
Yes.
If a lot of my friends are going to pick it up, I'm going to get it for sure. Because I want to play with people, with my friends. I don't want to jump in there by myself.
Right. Well, you'll always have crap. Crap will always be in the water.
I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say, hey, we could use you on Team Crap. But we got Mr. Mooch,
first mate.
First mate Mooch. There, he'll be manning the helm or something.
Yes,
we can.
You mean drinking? Oh, okay.
Facts.
That's cool too.
Fact.
What's so fun? Like the little things in that game, like everybody gets around and goofs off playing their loots and shit, or you drink and you're all like your vision's fuzzy, like that.
Yeah, you're dizzy.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's all about the little customizations and the fine details that they've put into it that I think everybody's really excited about. That, along with, it's comical to hear us say it over and over again. But the water effects are revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
Well, it is. It's something we haven't seen in games.
Because PUBG's water looks like just like
God,
like mud.
It looks like
mud.
It looks like you spilled an inkwell. Yeah, it's just ink. But speaking of that crap, great segue. Let's talk PUBG, folks.
Woo!
19 days in December. Aaron Greenberg comes out. Phil Spencer's. Well, we're over 3 million now.
Yeah.
The month of December was 3 million in 19 days.
Well, no, they said over 3 million.
Did they say over?
Yes, over.
Okay, over 3 million. So there you are, folks. I mean, that's already pretty much a bona fide success. I don't know if everyone on the panel has it. I know I've played with a lot of people. It's been an outstanding game to bring the multiplayer crown that we already knew was Xbox's.
After this
here
podcast, I'm back on PUBG.
Well, there you go, folks.
I mean, I break my own rule for that game, man. I stay up past 11. You know what I mean?
That is a rare sight.
It is like it's like people are like, you want to play PUBG? Like usually I run with Grave, and I've run with you quite a few times too, Mooch.
Yes.
And we play it, and it's just the game's a little bit
dinner.
Yeah, it's a mess a little bit, but it's still, there's something about it.
It's the rubber banding that's the mess.
The rubber banding is the mess. Sometimes the funny thing was they patched it, right? And I didn't rubber band that whole next day. I didn't get booted to the dashboard the whole next day, and then the day after that shit was all back. Like, did the patch wear off or something? I was like, what the hell?
Temporary.
Yeah. So I mean, it has issues, but I got to tell you what, like I've got a ton of games that I could play. Right. And I have 0 gamer score this month because I've been playing PUBG nonstop.
Yeah. Right. Well, and somebody in the chat said it's not sales, it's players. Did they say 3 million sold? 3 million players?
Over 3 million players.
It was over 3 million players, but you can easily estimate over 2.5 million sales because I doubt that there's more than 500,000 households out there that have multiple players per household. Like,
not only that, I want to say this, that it's they sell it in the UK and it keeps climbing the charts in the UK, and it's basically a fucking box with a digital download code in there. And it's like a top selling thing over there too. So they keep selling it out over here. Like our GameStop didn't have any more of the boxes with the codes in there. But you also have to keep in mind that they said over 1 million players in 48 hours. And then they actually confirmed sold over 1 million in 48 hours. So I think that even though people like to claim, oh, well, that's probably this, or everybody's got multiple accounts, bullshit, man. Like some people might game share, but like you said, Mike, I'd be surprised if it was 250,000 that are game sharing.
Well, so like a good example is like I bought one copy, both myself and my wife play, so we have 2 players per one
same
household.
way, like I got it, or somebody gifted it to me, but so I got it, and then he plays it too. But other than that, like most people are just got it themselves, and I think it's a huge thing.
And for being a preview program game, getting even like, let's say you cut it in half, every single person that bought PUBG game shares, that's 1.5 million sold easily. And for a preview program game, that is impressive.
No, I agree. I agree. This is really, really like revolutionary, isn't it? I mean, this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. And this is something that they said wouldn't occur. They said, the Xbox is not going to be able to mimic the PC, all this and that. And it is happening. I mean, it's happening before our eyes. Totally. And it is amazing because to be honest with you, I knew it would do good. These numbers are staggering.
Hey, remember what my initial guess, Mooch, was like over 3 million, and I backed off because everybody's like, crap's all full of shit. You know what I mean? It was so funny. Speaking of that, someone today on Twitter was like, "Oh, because he posted some VG charts bullshit." I said it's completely made up. It's fake. I was like, you might as well do Bob's charts. It'd be just as real. And he's like, "Oh, that's funny coming from you. You make up all kinds of shit." So I responded, "Please tell me any instance where I just made something up." Like this happens literally all the time where people are like, "Crap did this" or "Crap makes this up," and I'm like, "Where?" You know, if it's a video that's a news story, I link it. If it's an opinion piece, that's my goddamn opinion. Deal with it or don't. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off.
Right.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, what do you guys say now? Who doesn't have PUBG on the panel? Does anybody not have PUBG?
Cricket.
Seriously,
Everybody has that.
Yeah. Everyone has PUBG.
Even if you're not a multiplayer, you like, you know what's funny is like the one dude who we all know, Rand Outdoor.
Yes.
He's not a multiplayer guy at all, and he's always on PUBG now. So I mean, I think I must have I don't know offhand. I think 50 or 60 hours in that game now. So yeah, incredible amount of time.
What do we think this is going to project before it goes, wherever it does go, everywhere?
Over 10, I would say over 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean,
if you look at what's coming on down the line, you look at the PC, they got the desert map, which is going to come to Xbox. You have Bluehole talking about trying to find a way to put a night map in where people aren't just like boosting up the brightness on their TV or monitor to play that, but they're trying to figure out a way to really put in a night map. They're talking about a snow map. They're talking about a zombie mode. So this game's going to be supported for a while, and as long as it's supported, there's something in there. There's something at the heart of the game that brings people back to it. Whether you're squatting up or playing solo, there's something there that, if you don't get your chicken dinner, you're like, all right, well, maybe just one more round and I'll get it. And then if you do get your chicken dinner, you're like, well, that's one for today. Let's go for the second one.
There's always room for seconds.
Yeah, there's something there that it's like a magnet to the gamer. It just brings you there. You think you're going to play one round. You end up playing for like 4, 5, 6 hours, and you're not even tired of it, but you're starting to think about, damn, I got to go to work tomorrow.
That's happened, I think, to all of us. I can raise my hand and say that definitely happened to me. But my whole thing about this is that what's happening in the boardroom right now? Is anybody in the Microsoft boardroom saying, look, this is doing even better than we thought? Because they knew it would do well. I don't know if they think it would do. Even Aaron himself said it's far shot their expectations. So if this is going in that path, and Crap made a really good defense the other night, we had a really great conversation. It was Moxie, actually, it was last week. She made a great point to say to everybody that, I wouldn't invest in it because it really is just a game mode. Mm-hmm. But the counter to it is it's a game mode that is being, like, people just said it right now. They're like, well, you know what Division needs? A PUBG mode. So if you're gonna right, so if everyone's gonna call this a PUBG mode, well, PUBG itself does hold a pedestal somewhere in gaming. So do they want to lock this down, or do you think it's too far now? Where
it's probably it's like steamrolling, you know what I mean, out of control. I think that's probably the big problem right now.
I agree.
I don't even know if it's the money thing for them. Right. I think it's more or less the prestige of having so many numbers. They're braggers, right? So they're like, holy shit, we've got 35 million. 40, they're perfect for PS4, honestly. Come on. Like, hey, we've got 40, 50 million. Holy shit. That's what they want. They want this thing. If it could run on an Apple Watch, they would put that shit on an Apple Watch. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I feel like it's
till this thing goes on PS4. Yeah.
See, I feel. Oh, my bad.
I can't wait till this bitch runs 4 frames per second on the PS4, and then I can laugh at them. You know what I mean? Like, but who knows? Actually, there's a couple things that could deter this, right? First of all, both the PC and the Xbox version are running on Azure. Second of all, Microsoft paid to publish it. Third of all, it's in the preview program. Sony has no preview program. Mm-hmm. Fourth, it could take till next year till it gets out of preview program and there would be a version ready. And I don't even know, like, they're such a small developer. They're constantly having to work on the PC and Xbox version, and Microsoft sent their own people. Like, when would this possibly be on PS4? Like, that would be a question that I would ask.
That question that I question all the time, Crap, and I don't understand this generation, is when Microsoft comes out and says, we're going to publish it. Okay, they did this with Rise of the Tomb Raider. They've done it with this. They've done it with Titanfall. With Titanfall, it ended up staying, but we know that Microsoft paid above and beyond. What is the case here with publishing? I mean, is that's only published for a certain amount of time? But like you just said, Microsoft's putting a lot of engineering, software, and advertising into this game for them. Can this thing just leapfrog in 12 months over to another console? I don't know if it can.
I don't think it's 12 months, man. When you see what Xbox is doing with this and the money that they are investing in promoting and sending their A team out there to help, get it stabilized on console and stuff. I'm looking at maybe 2 years down the line before it's even thought about to come, to the other platform, to the PlayStation.
I'd say 2019 earliest.
But then at that point in time, you have all these bigger publishers, these bigger developers putting in that quote unquote PUBG mode into like Ghost Recon Wildlands, into, whatever games that they're working on. And these are developers that know how to really work with frame rates when it comes to consoles and stuff like that. So you're thinking it's going to be a smoother kind of like experience. That's why when people are like, well, should Xbox like lock this down? I'm like, well, in my opinion, I think it's more to Bluehole. I think Bluehole needs to think about that more in terms of their longevity. And if they really cement themselves within the Xbox community and having it, console exclusive to Xbox, I think it will have a longer life there than if it gets kind of like drowned out by the bigger developers doing that PUBG mode in those other multi-plat games that people are buying for the stories and stuff as well.
I agree with what you say, and I hate to be a naysayer in any way whatsoever, but I've got to put on my crap was right t-shirt. Bluehole is totally all about the numbers. They love boasting about their numbers.
Yes, they do.
And the PS4, like PUBG is a phenomenon. Everybody wants to play this game. We've seen it on PC. We're seeing it now on the Xbox One. There's no reason to think that if they release this on PS4, they wouldn't easily get at least over the span of a year another 5 to 10 million copies sold. Whether it's going to run as well because they can't use
such a
your
great
servers
number
on
out of
PSN.
70 million. That's crazy.
It is what it is. Not everybody's going to buy multiplayer games on PSN because, PSN is what it is, but that's a different story for a different day. I think that Bluehole, I hate to say this, I really do, but I think that the 2.5 to 3 million people that have bought PUBG on Xbox One are basically funding the PS4 version. That's going to allow Bluehole to expand their developer pool. That's going to make this small studio bigger, which is going to allow them to easily get this ported over to PS4 in the future.
I don't know if they're going to get it easily ported over since they had such a hard time. We're still running a version that was on the PC months and months ago, right? So I'm not sure exactly how fast they'll be able to do that. But also, you have to keep in mind that until they have a 1.0 version, Sony won't let it on their console.
True.
And it would have to run good. Whereas Microsoft, like I said, having that ability to have a game preview program really pays off for them.
Well, the thing is, though, this game is CPU intense, right? So if the CPU on the Pro and the Vanilla are worse than the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, do we have that stems a problem, doesn't it? I mean, they're working.
It does. But I was going to say, like, PUBG right now has problems on the Xbox One and the Xbox One X. It's not the smoothest game.
That's right.
And we're still enjoying the hell out of it. So maybe they're not going to get the most optimized version on PS4, but people are still going to enjoy it.
But there has to be an asterisk. The reason that we're having a lot of fun and we're enjoying it is even though we're playing it and it's having these issues that it's having, everybody, at least one person in every squad's like, guys, just stop complaining. It's in preview. The fact is, once it's not in preview, people may not accept the fact that it has the complications. So if it ends up going to Sony with these complications because the system can't handle it because of CPU, that's an issue. And I mean, if I was a PlayStation gamer, I would have an issue with that. If the game was finalized.
I think we're overthinking this here real quick. If you look at it, like there was another game that it came out a year after on the PS4, and that's called Tomb Raider. And that was a single player experience at heart. So it catered to the PlayStation crowd. And what happened a year after that game came out and it came out on the PlayStation? Nobody bought it. All right.
Yep.
Now,
that is a very solid point.
What I'm saying here, this is a multiplayer game. Basically, what was said last week, a game mode, but it caters to Xbox Live and Xbox gamers because we all love to come together and play a game. Now, say a year and a half, 2 years down the line, when it goes to PlayStation, who's going to give a shit about it? I mean, if it's not supported, if they already put like the maps that they were working on into it, they already put that zombie mode. If there's nothing else coming out, and then again, you're thinking about kind of like that community over there and how they really like their single player experience and stuff like that. Like, who's really going to give a shit? You know what I'm saying? At that point in time.
I know exactly who's going to buy it on the PlayStation. The 10 people that bought Lawbreakers, and see how that worked out. See how that worked out.
I wonder if Cliffy B sees the success of PUBG on Xbox and is kicking himself in the ass. Like,
yes,
he definitely
every day.
He had fanboys on Xbox, right? They were like, hey, man, I want to play your game. I mean, yeah, his game's generic as shit, and it probably wouldn't have done that great, but I can guarantee it probably would have sold better on Xbox.
I told him I wanted to try it because I'm a Gears head, right? So I was like, come on, dude, I want it on Xbox. He put it on PlayStation, and I said, okay, I guess I'll wait.
You know, if he partnered with
like
Xbox,
Fox, like
promoted that game with them.
I agree with you guys. I didn't want to disrupt the conversation. I think, honestly, if Cliffy B did come over, he would have done better than if he just stayed where he was. But, I mean, to be honest with you, Crap's also right. It's a generic and it's a real play off of Overwatch. But I don't know. Myself personally, I think that Microsoft should strike while the iron's hot and try to do something. But I think that this thing is such a steamroller right now that it's just not going to be able to make the transition over to just Xbox. It's got to go on Switch. It's going to go on PS4, and then eventually it's just going to become.
I don't see how that thing could run on Switch, but maybe. I mean,
I don't either, to be honest with you, Crap. But I mean,
you'll have to connect a second cell phone with 3 chat headsets to connect to the.
You know what might
servers.
be cool though. And I could see this if they could manage to get it on Switch. Like, I don't even know what resolution that would be on or whatever. But imagine some kind of crossplay between Switch and Xbox, or you know what I mean?
Awesome. And
that would be.
Yeah,
I think that would be fucking kick ass. And that could be another cog that we're not realizing too, is that Bluehole and Microsoft both want some crossplay functionality between Xbox and PC.
Yep.
So that could be something that holds it up too, because Sony isn't really big on obviously they're not big on that.
Nintendo is. So
yeah. Again though, like, I'm not a big fan of that crossplay with Xbox and PC either. Like, my big concern about Sea of Thieves, you mentioned earlier, do we have any mind, is that you won't be able to disable crossplay with PC, right? Like, I don't, because I remember when Fable Legends was a thing, and they were like, yeah, you won't even know if you're playing against playing with PC people. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah, but you know,
I want to know.
On Crap, I think Mike Ibarra's come out on multiple shows and said that they would keep those separate.
You better, Mike, or I'm going to do a video about it.
Yeah, so you're hearing about it, Mike. Let's get into something else. I mean, we have the NPD numbers, right? And, you know,
Xbox. It was no mayonnaise party, though, but close.
Oh, my God.
We're back, Fox. The mayonnaise is back.
Is this why you invited me on here?
No, it's not even a sabotage.
I'm texting you, Crappy, right now.
Hey, who knows if Xbox will ever win again, but seeing PlayStation in last place brought a smile to my heart. I just got to say that.
And then he went on PlayStation and he played I Am Mail.
Oh,
there ain't none of that. There ain't none of that over here. You ain't getting that from me.
I got a platinum on both the Vita version and the PlayStation version.
Yeah, I know, Crappy. It's pretty sad. I know.
Those are my only, platinum. You know, I'm not very good at getting, because I can't stay focused enough on PlayStation. Although when we played VR Star Trek Mooch, I ended up with a shit ton of trophies after that, dude.
It did throw a lot at you. It did. It did. I mean, but I want to get back to the MPD numbers here for a quick second, Crap. I mean, me and you were actually talking. I think we were playing PUBG when Aaron released his tweet, and it was a little, again, Microsoft with their crypticness. So what's the deal? They came in second, right? So they lost the Switch but beat PlayStation.
Yeah,
and I mean.
Yeah, it was incredible, though. I mean, they did something.
It is incredible because since PlayStation won November, everybody was saying, well, if they won November, Sony's going to kill December. Yeah. And the fact that Sony went from first to last, I found that very interesting. So is that a tell of just the fact that Sony lowered their console for 2 days to $199 or 3 days, whatever that was, and that was the
7 days?
Was it 7 days they did it?
Yeah, it was like a week before
Microsoft. It was a full week. Yeah.
Okay, so full, but I mean, that was a big difference, guys. $199, a game bundled in it, right? That was a big deal. So they did that just for the victory. Why didn't Sony keep that for December? That must have been such a low number that it actually hurts their revenue, right? Would you guys agree? I mean, I don't think they made a lot of money on that at all. They maybe even lost a couple dollars.
Well, I mean, they wanted to win the launch month of the Xbox One X. You could pretty much tell. Like, Sony's very petty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the things that I'm not a big fan of. They're like super petty. Like, whenever something good happens to Microsoft, Sony's like, here's our number, 74 million. Well, you know, we're greatest all time. We're the best.
Right.
You know, like old crab gamer can relate to that, but new crab gamer can't. So,
Right.
you know, it's it's kind of funny to see. Just and they're kind of, you know, I knew that would happen. I thought the Switch would be constrained. So I didn't think that they would be able to outbeat the Xbox One. But consider Switch is like such a it's so inexpensive compared to the X, you know, and everybody it's the Wii all over again, whether people want to admit it or not. This thing appeals to. I see grannies buying it, little kids buying it.
Grannies.
They are, man. Like they are. Buying,
no, they
like,
are.
Oh, well, little Timmy wants a Switch for Christmas. What's that? My teeth. You know, and I'm so they're like.
There are people that I know. There are people that I know personally that have said that they didn't mention anything about getting a Switch, and then after Christmas, everyone went back to work, and they're like, "Well, we did end up getting the kids a Switch," and I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, I'm like, I didn't say anything like, you know, oh no, you should have got him an Xbox. I didn't say that. I was just kind of like, wow. I'm like, you didn't even mention a game console, and they're like, you know what? It was like an impulse buy. So whatever Nintendo did, I don't know if it was their kiosks. Word to Microsoft. Put a kiosk up. But they said it was an impulse buy. They're like, you know what? We wanted to get the kids one more thing, and the Switch was there, and we know Nintendo's Nintendo. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And that's great. I mean, to be honest with you, listen, the kid in me is so psyched that the Switch is doing well. Does that mean I play a lot of Switch? I don't.
I haven't really touched mine since I got the X, you know. So,
but it is. I mean, and you guys, a lot of you guys that listen, a lot of guys on the panel here, you guys are all Sega guys. I was Nintendo. So when the console war was just brewing as kids,
Sega,
I was like Nintendo.
I was a Sega guy too.
You know,
man, I got to be honest. I was.
I know you were. Was anybody on the panel a Nintendo guy? Am I alone over here?
No, I was I'm right there with you.
No, I took a bullet for Nintendo, man. I love Nintendo.
Oh, damn.
I did. Oh yeah. Love Nintendo. You have no idea. Like, I was diehard Nintendo growing up. I mean, people ask me questions that, like, the Final Fantasy series. I mean, like, I played those through a million times. I know this is the Mooch you don't hear about a lot, but it's true. Loved Nintendo. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's why when I see it doing so well, I can't get upset. I'm pumped for the company.
I'm not upset when anything does well. You know what I mean?
No, I don't mean upset, but I mean, I would like to see. We've seen Xbox in the trenches. It's nice to see Xbox kind of crawl out. But here's the thing, and crap, I do want you to finish your Switch thought. But my whole thought, my point being here to move the conversation forward is Xbox going to win December and then win again next December? They need to win a few, folks. A few.
Well, no, hold on. They haven't won anything. They second prize, man. Ricky Bobby says, "Hey, you ain't first, you're last." So
that's right, Ricky Bobby.
I'm just happy that But the funny thing is, like, certain people look at things different way. Like Xbox will swear up and down the Switch is a handheld. So can a handheld really be in the same category as home consoles? Who knows? Other people might look at it as
it's also way cheaper.
Yeah, it's there's a $200 price difference there. So, but anybody that thinks that the Xbox One X didn't just totally shit all over the PS4 Pro, you take a closer look. I mean, it's the facts, that people were waiting for that. People waited for the X. That's why the Xbox One S had such a poor time during the year, because people aren't idiots. Like, I'm not saying they were always idiots, but when it came to tech, when we were younger, right? Like trying to talk your mom into why you needed a Genesis, or, you know what I mean, or a Super Nintendo. Well, why do you need this? You have a Nintendo. This is 16 bits. What does that mean? Well, hell if I know, but it looks good,
But now we have the wallets.
Yeah, like they don't understand. Like, oh, what's a 32X? And then you buy it, and then it turns out that they don't support it, and so your parents wasted the money. Like
I let my brother buy that, so I was able. The 3 games that came out for it, I was able to play it, and I was happy.
Yeah, I mean, like I had a Sega CD and stuff, and it was
So did I.
Everybody thought it was the shit, man. It was like,
So did I.
I was like,
"Woo, you're controlling a movie.
Shark.
That's made of Play-Doh."
Yeah,
Yeah, I was excited at Night Trap. That was, I mean, I know, but when Night Trap came out, it was like.
Did you get that game, Mooch? It's on.
No, I didn't. I didn't get it. I thought that would have been fun to stream. Right, Crap.
It probably would have been one to stream, actually.
Do you remember the Sega CD game that had like Criss Cross in it? That young like.
They're gonna make you jump.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to that while I play golf tonight on my Xbox. By the way.
All right.
R.I.P. One of those Chris's. I forget which one, but
It's really funny. But let's get into this. Alan, I want to get you. This is going to get Alan so revved up.
Oh, let's do it.
So we're starting on the 15th, right? Forza Horizon 3 is getting its big enhancement. This is a big deal.
Yes.
So
This is a
are
big
we talking 4K 30, Alan?
So here's the thing. They haven't confirmed what the frame rate will be. I'll imagine it will be 4K 30, but this has been the most hyped Xbox One X enhanced update yet. Like, Microsoft keep on talking about this. Aaron Greenberg is tweeting a lot about it. Like, this update is very anticipated. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had a few surprises in it. I imagine, as well as the 4K stuff, they'll really boost up the texture quality to match ultra settings on PC.
They gotta do that. Gotta.
I had heard a rumor of the maybe 1080 60 mode. I'm just saying.
I'd imagine they'd push for a dynamic 4K 60 mode.
Yeah, I
That'd be
mean,
awesome too.
I think that would be like, for me personally. You know, it's so funny because I know some people are like diehard, like, oh man, the 60. But like when I played The Witcher 3, I put that thing on 4K, man. Like, it just,
Same here.
It's a different, it's a same thing with like when any game, man, like Gears, right? Like, yeah, you can play the campaign 1080 60, but it's a different beast at 4K 30. Like, holy shit, that game. You know what I mean? Like, for me personally, I'm okay with that. Like, same thing. I boot up Rise of the Tomb Raider. The 4K mode is, you know, it really wows me. That's what I'm talking about. Like, and as a console gamer, I get like a lot of the PC guys, like, and because Hellhammer explained it to me, like on PC, the frames per second, if it's not 60, it's really clunky and bad.
Right.
Like on PC, but not so much for us console gamers where these games are designed that way to begin with.
Well, and that's
know, a
mostly
lot of
because
them,
on PC you've got these monitors that are doing like, 144 hertz. So yeah, the lower frame rate is much more noticeable compared to, a television that you're going to hook up your console to.
Yeah. So exactly, good point.
And Forza Horizon 3 is probably one of the smoothest 30 FPS games I've ever played. At 1080p at 30 FPS, I mean, that game looks phenomenal on an HDR display right now on the Xbox One S.
Mike hit the nail on the head, man.
And you know what's funny? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, when it comes to 30 frames per second, I mean, Playground and Turn 10, kind of like the things that they do to make 30 feel like 60. I mean, there are racing games. I've been a racing gamer like ever since the PS1, man. And what they did with Horizon 2 and Horizon 3 and how the game feels and how the speed feels, they do a great job with 30. So I'm more interested to see that, this is a developer with Playground that has had more time to really put in for their enhancement and stuff like that. I want to see the graphics. I want to see them blow people's minds even more, because there's a lot of people out there. It's like, how are you going to make this game look any better? Because it's beautiful to begin with. I can't wait to see that extra step, man. It's going to be insane. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you know what? It's funny because that's an open world racer, and if it's only 30 right now, and when you play it, it feels faster than say some of the games that run 60, like say GT Sport.
Yeah.
That feel fast for 60. In fact, it feels incredibly slow.
Alan, let me ask Alan a question, because he's the one that lives, breathes, and eats this stuff. Alan, when I play Forza 7, okay, and it's 4K 60, when my car's ramping up the speeds that are of the high speed on the track, that's when I truly appreciate the 60 frames. But once I'm at full speed, then I kind of got to agree with Crap and with Xbox saying that I'm playing Forza 7, I'm at full speed here, I'm going through the track, and then I'm like, man, I got to tell you, Forza Horizon 3 at 30 frames felt this good too. Yeah. So when I'm at max speed, are we talking almost apples to apples, or there's still a little bit of an element of 60 frames that we're missing on the 30 frame?
I have tried it out at 60 FPS on the PC version of Horizon 3, and there is definitely a difference. Like, it feels so smooth. It's really, really smooth at 60 FPS. But the 30 FPS on Xbox One is still fine. It's a really, really good 30 FPS. Like, the way they're able to do it and optimize it is so good. And that's the thing. 30 FPS is fine if you can get it to stick at 30 FPS and not drop. That's the thing.
And Playground Games has mastered that. I mean, that
exactly.
Forza Horizon is locked.
Same with Forza 7, locked to 60 FPS. It doesn't drop.
Correct. So, I mean, to be honest with you, crap, I'm with you. I'd rather see the 4K stuff too, right? But I would say that 1080p 60 on Forza Horizon 3 would be absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'd probably still play at 4K 30 because I want to see.
Think so?
Like, yeah.
I think I would do the Hot Wheels 4K 30, but I would do the open world.
That already looks phenomenal as hell right now. Anyway,
it does.
You know what I mean? Like, whoo.
It does. And Alan, if you want, let's expand this even greater. What is your article? On fullthrottle.com, folks. If you're not going to that, or you're not at Full Throttle, you're not following them on Twitter, please do. Alan, you broke some information that you had on what's going on with Forza Horizon 4. Do you care to share?
Ooh. Yeah, so I actually wrote an article about the Playground Games Studio overall. I'll just put a link to it now in the chat. But it didn't accept it. Ignore that. But anyways, the thing is, there's a lot going on at Playground at the moment. They have a second studio, and with all this talk about with all this talk about new RPG, there are some people out there who don't think we're going to get a Horizon game this year. We're definitely getting a Horizon game this year.
I don't know who would have thought that. Come on.
Right. It's no
Horizon 3 was like, for some reason, it surprised Microsoft.
Exactly.
Like they're like, here's the bundle.
I have
4 months later.
I've seen people though reply to my tweets whenever I'd mentioned Horizon 4. I've seen people reply to me and say, "But they're working on an RPG now. Don't you realize that?" And I'm like, "No, guys, they have 2 studios." But anyways, Horizon 4 this year. But the thing I've been sitting on for a few months now is the fact they recently did mocap in a studio in London. So they've done all their mocap capture for the game. I got details on the actor who's in there, and it's really interesting stuff. And Microsoft has worked with this studio before for Halo and for Quantum Break and for past entries in the Horizon series. So it's quite interesting. And the fact with Horizon 4 is the location that's looking most likely at the moment is Japan. It looks like we'll be heading to Japan.
Totally pumped it's in Japan. Totally pumped.
If that's true, then that means a lot of the leaks that we heard were also true.
Yep.
Which would be, a lot of people just want to cast the Xbox as being off when, honestly, has there ever been a more transparent company when it comes to gaming? In my lifetime, I can't think of one. They're like, here's the S, and it's going to do this, but hell, if you want to wait a year, we're going to have this. And then also, we fixed the back end of Xbox Live, and which I got to be honest, I can't remember the last time there was a real issue with Xbox Live. I mean, it runs phenomenally well right now. They fixed the dashboard, and they're like, we're going to get the games. We trimmed the fat. They got rid of all the Kinect studios. They got rid of the studios that were sitting on their ass sucking up the money and the money pits. As much as people don't want to believe it, Fable Legends, Scalebound, Money Pits, and Scalebound, right? People want to harp on this game still. Rumor had it that it was upwards of costing them $75 million and was still 2 years away from release. A single player only game. That game was never going to recoup that. At some point, you got to pull the cord. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. Fable Legends. What was that? There was rumors of $100 million on a free to play. How are you ever going to recoup that? You never would. Like, you eventually had to cut that, and they did, and people hated it. And the truth is, people don't like the truth all the time, and that's the truth.
Sometimes less is more, and the fact that what they did with Lionhead and what they did by they actually saved the Fable name, possibly, right?
Yeah,
because if that game came out, it could have been a mess.
With Fable Legends, what I'm thinking about, and I know Crap has said this time and time again about them using those assets for the next Fable, Fable 4, Fable Reboot, whatever it's going to be. I was able to play like alpha or whatever. That game looked gorgeous. So if
it was a freaking full DirectX 12 game. That's why. In fact, I have a video somewhere called DirectX 12 is real and Fable Legends is running it. It's somewhere on my channel. Hell if I know. But yeah, they released some screenshots and the God rays and all that. It was amazing. It was like one of the most beautiful games I ever saw.
Well,
Exactly.
my concern is if Microsoft, this is what we talked about earlier, but I kind of want to bring it all to fruition now with Alan and his information on Forza Horizon 4, which we knew it was coming, but he's kind of bona fide it, and he's also the Japan background and theme is perfect. I think it's going to be the best Horizon to date. I love the city. I love the what is it? Is it the drifting that could be like awesome in the game? It makes it fun. It makes it arcadey a little bit more in the way that
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, exactly,
Well,
man.
Can I just
great.
Can I just make a quick note here as well? Actually, a lot of people in the racing scene are asking for Japan. Tons of Need for Speed fans at the moment are asking for Need for Speed to go to Japan.
Yes,
racing fans really want Japan, and there's
Tokyo
a lot of
Extreme
car
Racer, man.
people. There's a lot of car people in Japan who want a racing game based on the Japanese car culture and car tuner scene. Could Horizon 4 sell more Xboxes in Japan? That's my question for you guys.
You know, the answer is yes, but probably not the number that puts anything on a map.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, even if they sold 1 million, it's still, that's not enough. Then that would mean they were at 1.09.
See, one thing I do want to see, one thing I want to see from the New Horizon, and maybe Alan, I want to hear if you will agree with me on this or disagree. The first Forza Horizon, I love the way the story progressed. You came out of nowhere, and you know what I'm saying? You're trying to get into this racing community.
To evolve, Xbot.
Well, no, but I think it has evolved, but in evolving, it feels like the story was more watered down. Like it was excitement in the first Horizon. Like when you got to that first kind of like boss to go to the next tier when it came to your your bracelet or whatnot. And it really felt like you were coming in and you were crashing into a community and you were like, man, I belong here. I'm going to work my way. It felt really story-esque. And I know what they were trying to do with Horizon 3 with now you're running stuff and, making your own races and stuff, which I thought was awesome. I'm a fan of making my own bucket list. Like I love doing that, picking the music and stuff like that. Yeah. But I hope that with this one, with going into this racing community, if it is in Japan, you have the drifting going up and down like Mount Fuji, down to like going into the cities with all the craziness and street racing there. I hope that they go back to that kind of busting into that racing community type aspect.
I think they've done their trilogy of festival-themed games. I think personally it's time to move away from the festival theme and focused on a more storyline.
Yes.
The first one had a story. The first one had a decent story.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That story caught me in the first Horizon. That story is what got me to get Horizon 2 and Horizon 3.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, but my least favorite part of 2 and 3 is the festival thing. Like, to me, that got really old fast. And
they keep using that same mechanic over and over, so...
Yeah, because if you change it to a different story, it becomes different background, a different cutscenes, and it's a little bit more to it. For someone like me, I'm not a huge racing car fan. That's just not the genre that I like, but I can be talked into it if it's the right type of racer. And I think that even Dealer said it. He's like, throw some cops in there.
I was actually just going to ask that. Is that a rumor or is that what people saying?
I don't even know if it has. Does it have any?
I know. Alan? Payback had some issues with manufacturers not wanting to be in the game because of cops and heists.
Right.
So Forza could run into issues. Plus, Turn 10 are very strict about kind of what's in their games and how their games are represented. They're also very authentic. So I don't think we'll see cops in Horizon, but I feel like for Forza Horizon 4 set in Japan, it would really make sense. I think it would be quite an interesting addition.
I do too. Now,
maybe it has some kind of story where you're racing people and there's drifting and some other stuff too. Like I could totally see that happening.
That would be cool. That would be almost like a Fast and the Furious style story.
Yeah, exactly. It opens up a lot, really. Like, and I'm sure that they're like every game that they've released in the Horizon series has topped the last. So I mean, we thought, how are they going to beat Blizzard Mountain? And then they come out with Hot Wheels, right? Like that was
Hot Wheels is just great.
Yeah, you could just tell. Like, the jealousy and stuff was amazing, right? Like people, you can always tell when people want something when they're like, that sucks. When they're out there saying that sucks or that's stupid or enjoy your 15 frames per second on PUBG, they want the game, right?
Right.
So nobody will ever. And plus that Forza Horizon 3 was that first Xbox exclusive that managed to crack that 90. on Metacritic,
That's
right?
true.
Because there is that little bit, and no matter who wants to believe it or not, that stigma where some people, and they tried it with this, like somebody gave it a 2 or something. Like, get real. Like,
That's
some people
ridiculous.
gave it a lower score than Drive Club or
Yeah,
those
Crap, let that sink in. A 2, guys.
Yeah.
A 2.
Yeah, there was a media outlet that said Playground have clearly lost interest in cars or something. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I know everyone who works at that studio, well, the studio who's developing the Horizon game, are car nuts. They're car fanatics.
Yeah. Exactly, they're huge, and not only that, but Turn 10 does help a little bit with those games too. Like they
do,
like
and even Playground help a little bit with Motorsport as well. They all develop the engine. They all pitch in with each other's projects.
You know, everyone's kind of rebooting things to be able to put cops into the game. That would be fun as hell to run from them.
I wouldn't want to. I personally don't want to do that.
Really? Why not? That sounds like I mean, you're not tired of just racing the clock.
Cops have been.
I like racing.
Yeah, but I mean, you already have 85 games that do that.
Dude,
well, no, like I like the Horizon. There's no games like Horizon to do that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like for me personally, that's what I like.
In the first Horizon, there was this like subset of races. There was this guy running these kind of like almost like illegal street races. There were no cops involved.
There was like 7 different that you had to beat or whatever, and you got
and Project Cars like a Horizon.
Project no. Project Cars is like motorsport. It's a sim racer.
Oh, is that a sim racer?
Project Cars is full on sim.
Yeah. But I will let you know, in the first Horizon, I like I said, I love the story, breaking in and all that good stuff, and I hope they kind of go back to that for this one. But having that subset there, like to go out into these like small towns like around Colorado at that point in time, meet up with this like kind of gang of racing, what they were trying to call like thugs, you know, doing things the way they wanted, doing their own races, with the placing the bets and winning the cars and stuff like that. They put that element like back into there and develop off that as well.
Well, you know,
I mean, it's going to be a great game anyway. They have not made a bad racing game.
Let me ask the other person on the panel that buys everything. Boom. Boom, what's your take on Forza Horizon? I mean, do you play the shit out of the Forza Horizon games? Are you a big Forza Motorsport fan? And do you care if there's cops? Do they change it at all in 4?
Well, the thing is this. Of course, yes, like crap, I buy everything. But I'm going to say this. Like, Forza 7 is magnificent, but I probably have about 5 hours into that game. Now, if you give me Forza Horizon 3 or 2, I put a massive amount of time into that because I like the fun aspect of driving these cars. Now, I'm going to be honest. It is gotten a little long in the tooth with the festivals. It really has.
Right.
So if you're going to turn around and, I don't know, listen, if you don't want to run from the cops, what if you were an undercover cop? You know, driving in Tokyo.
That's a good idea.
Driving in Tokyo to get to work your way up to the guy.
And your name is Vin Diesel.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's there's very little story you can really do with the driving game. But if you wanted to kind of change it up and you don't want to be a Need for Speed where you're crashing cops into the side of the road and the cars are exploding, this might be a way to kind of change it up where you move up and through the ranks, you win races, you're still doing a festival type thing, but you're kind of getting your way up to the top so you can do your end all bust all thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying it's a little different. I think that they need to change it. It just the one thing they can't change is it not being fun. That's the one thing about
Horizon. I think Playground won't let us down in that category, regardless of what it is. I mean, even if they just tweak the festival, you're still going to enjoy the game. It's still
Guys, one thing for me being a car guy, I love car guys. I love cars. I love like the culture and stuff like that. The Japanese culture when it comes to cars, a lot of it is about pimping out your vehicle. You have LEDs that are in like the side of your doors and stuff like that. So one of the things that has me excited, and it was always one of those real little downfalls to me when it came like to the Horizon series, was the amount of aftermarket parts. If you're going to Japan, if you're going to tackle the Japanese like racing culture, whether it's street racing or whatnot, you have to build and bolster that aftermarket kind of like aspect of these cars, because that is a huge thing in Japan, and it's got me excited. I hope they do that.
They might rank you on that in the game, actually. If you could add like some crazy spoilers or have the neon lights in the bottom, I think that would be awesome.
That would
like style points.
And pointing out like different things that you could do, like Boom really looked outside the box by saying that you could be a cop and everything. But I know you guys want like cop cars chasing you and everything, and I think that's really cool. And maybe DLC that could be added. But I don't have a problem with the festival, because for me, when I think of Forza Horizon and all the games that I've played so far, I always think of the music, and I enjoy the music to the point where I actually go out of my way and look for these bands and add them on Spotify, because it just sounds really, really good. So I really do like the music and the festival stuff too.
I definitely think they should retain the in-game radio with like all the music and stuff, because Forza Horizon has a brilliant soundtrack every year, and I don't think that should change for Horizon 4. I think if they do move away from the festival themes, they should still have music in the game, and music can continue to be a big part of it, I think.
Yeah, I would love that.
And I think you make a good point, because what Fox is saying is don't change the formula, right? I mean, it is what it is.
Don't fix what isn't broken.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's something you have to kind of tap dance and walk on eggshells with, because to be honest with you, it is hard, because like I do like the idea of like seeing God of War change, right? And to see all these things change and kind of get like a little bit of a twist. Maybe things won't work, but if Forza Horizon is already taking it to a new land and it's a more exciting, and I think with HDR and the colors of the neon are going to pop, and then all of a sudden you're making it like from big open fields or beaches in Australia. Now all of a sudden we're talking about tight turns and this and that. Like that to me, and then cop chases. I mean, you want to make a DLC? Shoot, if that's what it takes to get it in there, Fox, I'm with you. Making a DLC, because I'll buy it.
Pass, people.
I'll buy it.
There's another way they could do it as well. Forza Horizon 3, some of you may remember, there was kind of like a side storyline of street races and midnight battles where you could win exclusive cars.
That's where I got my RX-7, man.
So, what if they had a side storyline that integrated the cops, but they didn't affect the rest of the game? It was only specific to this side storyline.
That would be great, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah. Hey, Mooch, something it's a little kind of like off subject, but something you touched on in terms of like what they did with Gears and stuff like that. And I gotta say, man, you know, since we're on live and stuff, I gotta give a huge shout out to Xbox for what they're doing with their first party like IPs. And how they're evolving them. Because if you look at like Halo 5 and what they did with putting Warzone in there, really pulling you know, competitive gamers in to test out the multiplayer and stuff, and evolving, you know, Halo, what they've done with Gears, you know, visually and stuff like that, what they're doing with Forza Motorsport and evolving that, like you really gotta kind of like tip your hat to Xbox. They know how to take a franchise that's been long standing and still keep it fresh and still kind of renewing it, but still keeping the heart of that game intact, man. They're doing a great job with that.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Now, I do want to change something. We're talking about buying DLC, this and that. There's something coming out soon, and everyone knows that I'm a big Seamus Blackley fan. I think everything he's done for the brand is amazing. But this Duke... This Duke has got collector's item written all over it, and not necessarily I'm going to look forward to using it ever.
I want to use it, man. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. You must have some big mitts. I just personally...
I'm a basketball dude.
Well, there you go, X-Spot. What do you guys think? I mean, are you guys getting this for the nostalgia? Are you guys getting it? Well, crap, of course. Crap and Boom, out of the loop. Out of the conversation. Of course,
look, especially if you want to play some of those original Xbox games, well, like the nostalgia feel of that for me is just something phenomenal.
We sit here and talk about looking out for the consumer's wallet and this and that and blah blah blah. You can't really say your sales pitches for the 2 or 3 Xbox OG games that are back.
I wouldn't try to sales pitch it. I don't think there's a huge audience for this. Right. I think it's for the hardcore OG Xbox fan.
Absolutely.
And definitely.
The fact that it even exists is amazing. I mean, think about that for a second. I mean, they're bringing out something that came out 2001, right? I mean, it's the fact that this even exists. Physically.
And people hated it. A lot of people hated it.
They did.
You know, I mean, think that's where you have to. Again, we're talking about tipping your hat to Microsoft. This is one of those things that no one, would ever think the company would do. And yeah, it's probably going to be limited. They're not making 10 million of these things where it's going to show up at your Dollar Tree.
By the way,
you know what I'm saying? But It is again. I have to get it personally because I like nostalgia, and I don't even know if I'm going to use it. It may sit in the box. It may just, I don't know, but it looks.
It's got collector's item written all over it, and I think that's going to be very, very cool.
I am itching. There is a performance thing when it comes to the Duke as well.
Oh, here comes the Xbox.
Here we go. The black and the white button. All right. Yep. They're putting it right there, right above your traditional YBAX.
Right.
Like, and here's the thing. Imagine playing Halo, right? And you're using the left trigger to aim and you're firing, but you want to throw a grenade real quick. Now you don't even take your fingers off the trigger to hit the bumpers. You have it right there on the top of the controller. So it's an instantaneous throw your grenade, and you still have your finger on the
Xbox.
trigger.
There's a controller for you. It's called the Elite controller.
Yeah, but my wife stepped on mine, dude.
Oh,
That's an expensive step.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I'm getting a 4K television, hopefully, tax time. So,
I think you're right, and I think that the nostalgia factor, especially for a lot of Halo fans, for what Xbox was just saying. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm with you. And I like the fact, here's the thing I didn't understand, and it was a grainy video, so I'm not judging. I'm not judging it. But it's like, hey, everybody, check out the OLED screen in the middle. And it looked as grainy as a 480i, like, you know what I mean? It looked terrible. So, I mean, has anyone seen this thing with like a good lens on it to see what it looks like? An OLED screen is supposed to be gorgeous. And shout out to Seamus Blackley. The one thing he said that I thought was great was he said he would like to see the developers utilize the big screen for other things in games, not just because what it does is it substitutes as your home, but your illuminated Xbox button, but it could also be other things, and it's a cool screen. So just a thought. I don't know if you guys do you guys see it being utilized in other retro? I don't see devs putting a lot of time into it, except for maybe first party, only because it's a $70 nostalgia factor purchase. That's my only issue with it. That's why when people are getting so excited, my excitement's a little bit lower than everybody else's.
You can program that thing to show different stuff. Because can you imagine like
good point.
If you can program it, say you go into Halo and you're a big Halo buff, and I don't know why I just keep talking about Halo. That's
I wonder why.
Is your logo Master Chief? Oh no, go ahead. Please continue. Please.
But imagine if you go into Halo 5, even the Master Chief collection, and all of a sudden your screen, and just for like novelty, like it starts showing like, the original kind of like Halo symbol moving up, Halo 2, Halo 3, or something with Halo 5. You have the Master Chief like right on your controller, like either switching his shoulders with his AR or something like that. That would be cool if they put something into that to move it forward. I think a lot of people would use it like that. Yeah.
No, or if you could program it to be customized, just put your own picture on there, so you're always looking up and smiling.
I do love staring at myself, by the way. So that would be great,
God.
Man.
I don't know if it's in I would assume if it's OLED, it would be a colorful screen. So maybe you could put your own gamer tag on there. That would be neat. Just maybe, so that while your controller's sitting there, you have your gamer tag that big in the middle. That's kind of cool.
Maybe show the friends who are playing the same game as you.
Yeah, put a couple of names. Exactly. Put the top 5 games. Yeah, your top 5 friends that are on there, your favorites or something like that are playing the same game. That is a very cool thing.
Wow, I'm getting a nostalgic feel back to the
I'll tell you, if anything any of us are saying end up on this controller, then it becomes a buy for me, because that's something that I'm interested in. Although I will say this much. Are there any buttons missing off of it? Because I noticed that the top has a large rounded button on the top, and then it has your RB and LBs on the far left. So there's no triggers?
There are triggers.
Yeah, there's triggers. Yeah,
there's some real big triggers on the backside.
I actually have the Duke. It's downstairs. I don't have it hooked up, but I have it like sitting there, and I have not picked that up in ages.
Well, dude, like I said, I have big hands though, so this thing actually fits really well in my hands.
Oh my God!
He's
still talking about his hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna be running for president soon, so you got to talk about your hands. But I remember when I got my first Xbox, the OG Xbox, my friends used to complain about the controllers all the time. They got so excited when they announced, the controller S. And I was like, why, guys? Like, I really liked the Duke controller. I had fun playing with that. When we came together and we were playing Halo split screen or whatnot, like I was happy to take the Duke controller. Everybody was like running for the S's and stuff like that. Yeah, and I was like, yo, give me the hamburger. That's what I used to call it, the hamburger. Give me the hamburger. I'll be happy with that, man.
Well,
it's funny. Well, go ahead, Fox.
well, I was just gonna say, from what I've seen so far, which I know like a lot of collectors and stuff on like retro collectors and everything on YouTube, a lot of them are picking it up for sure. It's just they're probably not even gonna open it though. So the fact that you guys are like mentioning that you're gonna use it, like Xbox or Crappy, I'm like, wow, this is interesting because you do have all kinds of different. Oh, he's gonna keep one sealed. There it is.
Well, you'd have to get two.
That's the collector way.
It is a collector's thing. That's something, and I know.
Although I'm using my Sea of Thieves controller, and I only pre-ordered one of those because that thing glows in the dark, and it's
I'm using that.
And I'm probably gonna dress up like a pirate. And
Are you streaming this? What's going on?
Well, Crap Gamers did get some new equipment. I'm just saying.
Oh,
there could be some new stuff coming soon.
Oh wow!
Sponsored by Hellman's, by the way.
He's gonna be looking like
Team 80s.
Quick way to wrap up the show. I want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. They come out and they say, beep
Jamie
Richie.
Moran, hold on to something. Sit down,
I can't
brother.
wait. I cannot wait, man.
Are you guys? I mean, Cyberpunk. Is this something that you guys think that Xbox might latch onto and grab as an exclusive?
Probably. No, not exclusive, but
marketing,
they might get some marketing for it or something.
I wonder if marketing rights is enough moving forward. Is it for Xbox?
Well, here's the thing. What's it matter this late into the generation?
Right.
Since there's such a big discrepancy between Xbox and PlayStation in terms of sales. So why waste your money on, having your name plastered on something? You know what I mean? Like Battlefield 1. Microsoft marketed that, sold better on the PlayStation. That's just the way it is. It's just going to be that way.
Right.
Probably most games do because there's according to PlayStation fans, there's like 55 million more PlayStation 4s in the world. But I market stuff. I don't know.
Reason.
Like, I think better than marketing, use it for timed exclusives like PUBG, whatever else you can get. You know what I mean? Regular exclusives. If you can get the new Tomb Raider as a year exclusive, do it. Exactly, Fox. Because look, if Halo doesn't come out this year, and oh god, I hope it does. Tomb Raider comes out this year in its place, and that's a timed exclusive for a year. That would satisfy me.
Yep, I'm all in.
Yep,
I'm a big Tomb Raider fan.
You're still going to have great games this year because also this is a little bit of news. Somebody sent me this from like a meeting thing.
Breaking news, people.
That a lot of people are assuming that Ori 2 is multiple years away, and during this meeting where Microsoft were asking people what 2018 game were you looking most forward to, and Ori 2 was one of the answers on this survey. So that game, that studio beefed up after Ori 1. They've been working on it since the release of Ori 1. They have the engine and everything built and a lot of the assets. So that game could release this year. That would be pretty big for Microsoft to have Crackdown, Ori, Forza, possibly Tomb Raider,
State of
Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, Ashen. Below. There's a good mix.
Calm down. My wallet. I have no money left.
Calm down.
I have no money.
Well, I mean, a lot of the ones you said are hype factors. Some of them are nice filler. I mean, Record 2.
I don't consider it filler. I consider it to be
Ashen. You can say Ashen. I know a lot of hardcore people, and I know Jimmy Moran who's listening is a big fan of it, and I am too. But Ashen's not for everybody.
But they really fleshed that out since originally.
Where I was going, though, that I think you're going to agree with me is Record 2, has tremendous potential to be like how Uncharted 2
in development.
Right. But Uncharted, it could be like the leap from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, but there has to be a lot of money. And I would actually, for one, I would like to see, I would almost want to see Record 2 come out next year.
And also not using the Unity engine because that was crap.
Right. So they have to really start over,
Well, the big problem is, what? Record looks good now. The problem was with I think it looks pretty good. The problem was that Unity engine doesn't allow for dynamic resolution, which is why that game is 1440p on the Xbox One X. Right? They just now updated that engine to allow for dynamic 4K and like a scalable 4K and scalable. Like you were just set 1080p, 900p, 1440p, like you had to be full 4K. You know what I mean? So now they're just able to do that. So that team is specifically just now looks like, well, they've probably been working on something for a little bit now, but who knows? Like I'm all for it. Drop the fucking cores because that was stupid. Just do you're this chick and you're on this planet and you're searching for shit, killing monsters and exploring, like
right.
That tells me.
I mean, I don't know. I'm with you, Crap. I'm right there. I think Recore, I love Jewel, the character. I think they've got a great story, a great background, and a great main character.
I like the bots and all that shit. And Jewel was great.
It just needs a lot more money into the detail.
Too, man.
It needs level design. It needs depth. It needs a lot more depth.
They have to tighten it up, basically.
Yes.
Because it's a good game overall, but like there's a lot of stuff that just felt empty. So they need to tighten it up.
We need a Fox t-shirt that says "Tighten it up." But she's
right.
She should
tighten it up.
Yes.
Maybe if they pushed Recore into RPG territory,
that would be great, Alan.
That awesome. Could really flesh it out like a big, proper RPG experience.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Yo, Mooch.
Or RPG Light would even work as well, because I like the shooter aspects in that game a lot.
Yes, shooter aspects don't have to lead by becoming an RPG.
Yeah,
the gameplay was
and I like the
downfall for that game.
Yeah, but the one thing that I hated, if you want to lose Crap Gamer in a game, like make him not interested, have him have to search for shit. It's not where you gotta go.
It did get frustrating finding those cores to open up a door.
Exactly.
That was frustrating. Yeah, for sure.
That was my point. Like, out of all the Xbox exclusives this gen, I've played every single one of them. Even like the smaller ones that were like Max of the Curse of Brotherhood beat that.
That was great.
I played and beat them all. That was the only one that I still have not beat. And they did fix it, to be fair, a little bit, but it's like you get so far and whatever, and then you're just like, like, to me, that game.
After you haven't played it for so long, you're actually better off starting over from the beginning. But then you already saw what you went through. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no real new surprises except for like the graphics or possibly better performance. I can see where you're coming from with that, Crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, we are just about the 2-hour mark, and I know Crap is going to start barking. Go ahead, Xbox, do it.
Just one more thing, man.
Run longer, go.
Because Cyberpunk 2077. I just want to say this: everybody talks about Witcher 3, Witcher 3 this, Witcher 3 that, greatest game this generation, stuff like that. I'm not into what they call the backdrop of Witcher 3, but when it comes to Cyberpunk and you have that kind of like renegade, futuristic, high tech, punkish type attitude, that is what I am down with. I cannot wait until this game comes out. I will be living this game when it comes out. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
No, that's fine. I'm right there with you, because I like the longevity of the game of Witcher doesn't bother me. Sometimes I think the side quests are absolutely fantastic. I like the side quests better than I'm liking the main story, to be honest with you.
Better than Horizon Zero Dawn's main story.
It's so true.
Yeah, exactly.
Go find my eyeball. It fell out, and that
yes, the robot dinosaur ran off with my spear, and I hurt my ankle. Help me.
Well, shout out to I was playing with a big time PlayStation fan. He was playing Gears with me last night, but he's a PlayStation fan. AJ, shout out to AJ, who's in the chat somewhere. We were talking PlayStation. We were talking. No, he's all PlayStation. But here's the thing. He said, Mooch, go back, play Horizon Zero Dawn, and just play the main mission. He's like, don't go wandering off on these side quests. He goes, just play the main mission. You'll enjoy it. So I said, maybe I'll go back and try Crap, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get through it, to be honest with you. It's going to be a difficult playthrough. But that being said, guys, it is the 2-hour mark. I want to thank everybody. Let me go through the outros. Thanks to the audience for being here. Great show. Great panel. Lots of great discussion. And I think we talked basically games almost the entire, I would say almost 80% of this podcast, 85% was games.
A meme has officially been sent to the DMs, Mooch.
Oh, great.
Thank
you. There it is. Yeah, that's always great. There it is, the wrap it up from Crap. Thank you, Crap. That's my favorite. Thank you. Let's go in reverse order. Let me start with the great Alan Walsh. Alan, where can people find you? Thanks for being here tonight. Your insight on what's coming down the pipe with Forza Horizon 4 was greatly appreciated. Where are you during the day that people can find you?
Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on the podcast. It is always a pleasure, and great panel tonight. Absolutely fantastic conversation. Okay, so you can find me on fullthrottlemedia.co.uk. It's my new website that has just only launched last Friday, actually, and there's a lot of great content on there. Today I released my story on what's happening at Playground Game, which goes deep into Forza Horizon 4 and the new open world RPG project that's likely to be Fable. And I also have my super in-depth reviews actually for Forza Motorsport 7 and the Xbox One X. The One X review, by the way, being one of the only ones on the internet that goes into a huge bunch of One X enhanced titles and takes a really deep look at each of them.
Also, like Alan, me and you were both kind of right when we were talking about Playground a few weeks ago, possibly doing Fable 4, and everybody thought we were crazy. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
And now we're seeing a bunch of outlets running this story about Playground possibly making Fable.
Well, look, to do a game like that, you need a couple hundred people at least, and they have a 250 person studio now, the new one.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it just makes sense. You got to figure out it's going to be a UK studio that's doing it. That makes the most. It's not Studio Gobo, because Studio Gobo's doing something else, like possibly Mecha Solid or something. I don't know, but
it wouldn't have made sense for them to make it. Playground makes a lot more sense to me.
Yes, and they're probably a studio Microsoft trusts a lot more.
Well, they're timely, and they've been with Microsoft for many years now. I think it's a marriage made in heaven, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our next guest she came late, but she is fantastic. A great friend of mine.
Better late than never.
Foxfire. Always good to have the Foxfire with us. Fox, thanks for being here tonight. Where can people find you?
Well, it was awesome being here. I'm glad that I sneaked through, even though Twitter was trying to stop me, and I was like, oh, hell no, we're not doing this tonight. So yeah, Twitter got smacked a little bit, and I'm glad I got to get on here and chat with you guys. You're all awesome. And boom. Wow, dude, you're still here, bro. I remember when we both did the podcast together. Yeah. Next thing you know, now you're a regular. This is nice.
That's awesome. Thanks, Foxy.
Yes, of course. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, always sharing links and showing everyone support. And I also share my videos on there whenever I do those on YouTube. I was featured on an article today with Evo Energy. So me and She-Wolf were featured in that article, and they were talking about streamers and people on Mixer. So check that out. Is on my YouTube channel. I mean, on my Twitter. We also did Gaming Den today. So Gaming Den is back, but we're gonna put that on my channel now. So as soon as you guys see the link, please check it out and let me know what you guys think of the new layout and everything for Gaming Den. And we also interviewed one of the developers from that did Arrow, so Mad Fallow Games. So that was also really fun. So I actually had an amazing day hanging out with you guys, and I did the interview and everything. So really cool.
That's really cool, Fox. And I do want to say that that's awesome that Gaming Den is going to your channel. It's very cool. And I don't, a lot of people, I do want to kind of bring it up because it's sad, but I want to say it with Magic Mike because he's our other guest. You guys are on Console Corner. Really going to miss Console Corner, to be honest with you. She-Wolf, GKB. I know that they're, She-Wolf is all over Mixer. She's doing her thing. And GKB I've talked to already too. The minute he has time, he's going to be doing many guest appearances on the show. He said he'd come on Crossfire. So that's very cool. I want to say that I miss everybody that's on that show. I missed the show already. But you know what, Fox? A lot of people were saying you should come on Crossfire more. So I think we may see a little more Foxfire on Crossfire. I don't know if you guys are, I know the audience wants it.
That's for sure. Maybe a good addition.
Yes, I mean, you're right. I got a lot of comments saying Xbox Nation and Crossfire, so they want me to hop on those two awesome podcasts. So, yeah, I might check those out.
She's been on Crossfire more than Xbox Nation. I don't get it.
Well,
listen, what are you talking about?
It's a Friday thing, okay, folks? It's okay.
Oh, we're going to fix that, Crappy. We're going to fix that. Don't worry.
I mean, she is a crapaholic. Let's be real. I mean, come on.
Only by association.
You're a free agent right now, yo. You take
That's right.
What contracts are being offered to you? You know what I'm saying? And you kind of go,
well, yeah,
what's best for you, all right?
But Fox is looking at everything, and she's like, "Well, Crap's got the Florida team, and Mooch is the New York team. New York team always wins."
Hey.
I know, but maybe she wants to relocate.
Crappy, but listen, Mooch was offering me pizza, right? So I was just like, "Hey."
I got clowns in the back making calzones too.
But really, I just want to say, like, since you mentioned Console Corner, I love Console Corner. That's where I started. That was my first podcast, so I wouldn't be here if I wasn't for that, She-Wolf and GKB. And I just want to say to the community, thank you very much. I got so many DMs and so many messages, so thank you to everybody that reached out and said they were going to miss it. And they still wanted to support my channel, so they actually subscribed to my YouTube. And so my YouTube subscription went up, so thank you to everybody in the community for that.
That's very cool. And, let's go right to Magic Mike. Magic Mike, you are a big part of Console Corner as well. Good to have you here tonight.
Put some background music.
Absolutely.
Mooch, man, thank you so much for having me on. I had that last year. You had me talking about Dark Souls, and that is the core of my soul. So I was more than happy.
That was the point of the podcast where I fell asleep. But yeah,
but yeah, like Foxy was saying there. I mean, all of my love goes out to GKB and She-Wolf, Foxy and Noof. I mean, Console Corner, that was my start, just like Foxy's. I wouldn't be here if it was not for Console Corner. It will always be my home away from home. Beyond that, everybody in the chat and that's watching, you can catch me on Twitter at MagicMike83. I'm going to be hanging out, doing my own thing, focusing on a lot of different things from here on out. Hopefully I'm going to be getting my Mixer channel up and running a little bit more frequently. And beyond that, you know, I'm always going to be available for all the podcasts throughout the community.
Very cool, Mike. And let me tell you, this won't be your last time on CrossFire. As long as your schedule allows it, you'll be seeing the invite in your DM. So just keep an eye open for that. You're always welcome here.
Always happy to be here, man.
Thank you very much. One of our usual suspects, Signore Boombastic. Boom, you are on fire. Where can people find you, and when's that next video coming out? Probably right now.
Actually, I did drop one today. It was pretty good. It was titled "Digital Foundry and Review Tech USA Got It Wrong."
Ooh.
And I really call out some stuff.
Fired.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you watch the video, I go into real specific detail why they got it wrong, and it was
Review Tech ODs on cucumbers, so like,
yeah,
you can't trust his word, man.
Rich sometimes is just he's not a good dude. So, I'm sorry. But anyway,
he tries to be polite with it,
I'm the nice guy of the internet. I try to be a gentleman, But yeah, you can find me on Coffee Casuals and Consoles on Wednesday mornings, which is awesome. I now launched my own channel 8 weeks ago. It's doing very well. Double Barrel Gaming with Mr. Boomstick XL. And so far, I got almost 30 videos up since launching it. So I've been putting in the work.
Outstanding, Boom. Outstanding. I'm telling you, you're doing a great job. You keep that kind of content rolling, you're just going to see success flying at you. So keep it up, Boom. Good to have you here. And my Italian paisano down south, Clowns, thanks for being here tonight. You were the puppet master last night of Four Guys, so everything went swimmingly, I hope?
No, I ran that with 102 fever, so it didn't go that well, but
the
outro is legendary, I hear. I hear people are going to be copying that now. Yeah, but man, it's always a pleasure being here on Crossfire. I wish I could talk more. I'm just really sick, and at least
I appreciate you being here, Clowns. Honestly, I know you're under the weather, and honestly, to be honest, I miss playing PUBG with you. You're kind of part of the crew. Me, you, and Predator were playing for the first 2 weeks nonstop. We were almost gonna go get tattoos on our arm together. We just needed a fourth player so we can get the G in there.
All frying pans, by the way.
Yes, all frying pans. Beautiful, beautiful. Speaking of that. Actually, no, wait, Klaus, tell everybody where they can find you, because they don't, let them know. Yeah, there's new people every week.
Four Guys with Quarters, every Thursday around 7:30. We do have calzones that I'm going to be stealing from Crap and dropping some anchovies on his video. But yeah, so check us out.
Nice, Klaus. Thank you so much.
Free food? I'm there.
I'm definitely there. Xbox 448, you got something? You don't have something cooking tomorrow, but usually on Saturdays is a big show. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, well, since we're getting all sentimental, I just want to say this is where I got my start too, with live podcasting and everything. And Mooch, man, again, I appreciate everything you have done for me, man. You kind of brought me into a spotlight that I was trying to get into, trying to bring that common sense out there to the community, man. And you help out a great deal, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Xbox.
No doubt. Yeah, tomorrow we are not going to have the next podcast. My mom has put together a birthday dinner for me and my sister. My sister's birthday is on the 14th, and if you've been following Crossfire, I've been trying to tell people mine's on the 15th. Digital game gifting. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to be celebrating my birthday tomorrow night. I'm going to try to get some people from the crew for a Sunday afternoon show, probably after MNC. So maybe we can get this podcast marathon going, starting with MNC, going to next podcast, and then BGST at night. Maybe it'd be, a really good Sunday in terms of, gaming podcast shows. But I appreciate all the support. You can find me on Twitter because I appear on a bunch of podcasts. I drop content on my channel, and I always post it there. So it's at xbot448. Just follow me on Twitter, and then you can go ahead, sub my channel, watch the podcast, do all that good stuff.
Awesome, Xbot, and thank you for the compliment. And it has been. This is a great show. We've had so many great people coming on as guests. We've had our usual suspects. I'm proud of everybody on the show. This show's done so much, and I can't thank anyone enough. But other than the crap gamer, Mr. 659 himself. Crap. Thank you so much.
These outros take forever.
I mean, the end of each of these, the end of every Crossfire is like the end of the Academy Awards.
It is. Yes. Damn, I gotta send that GIF like 10 minutes earlier next time.
It was a pleasure just being nominated. That's all I want to say. Right?
Go check out the channel. I drop a couple pieces of content here and there.
Quickest outro ever.
Videos a day.
Yeah.
Check out my 10 videos. I'll see you on Sunday morning. Goodbye, crap gamer.
Yes. MC mornings. Also, if you guys missed it, Xbox Nation was on Mooch's channel this week. It was actually a really funny, good show.
Great show.
So I've been telling people that's where we did it this past week. So if you missed it, go check it out. MNC Morning Sunday. We've got some cool stuff. Some really cool skits and bits planned for MNC coming up too. A lot of cool stuff going on there. So make sure you guys check that out. And we'll catch you guys here next week.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Last plug is to check out the MNC Mornings YouTube page run by the one and only J-Dubs, the graphic guy.
It's getting exclusive content.
It will be getting exclusive content, correct. So anything that we're doing, so check out JW's. Go out there.
If you've ever wanted to see a person game with one hand, J-Dubs got you covered there too, because that's what he does. A lot of people don't know that he's got he games with one hand every single game. Pretty good at it too.
Dude. So, that is talent beyond belief.
That makes me feel so bad because he beat me in Mortal Kombat before.
Of course. That's his calling card, man. That is his calling card. So check out that too. We'll keep promoting that. There will be exclusive content on it, and we'll see you on MNC Mornings on my channel, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Later.
Bye. Later.